Cecily's named Cecily
Hi
for
there,
sessions.
everybody. Welcome to Roll with Advantage. Very excited to be here for another session of the Isles of Iverion, but let's not... Yeah, you can see it's going to be a great one, because in the chat here, everybody is badly injured or injured.
Woo!
It's super fun. So let's go ahead and roll the intro and dive in. Hi there, we're back. So, as is tradition here on Roll with Advantage, I do not do the summary. I have my players do the summary. This week on summary is... Okay, Ryan. Ryan is on summary.
Whoa. That was a
Yeah.
panic. Absolutely not.
So,
I was
Ryan,
like,
whenever you're ready, take it away.
All right. The party prepared themselves before heading in the direction of the pocket dimension to save Emerald. Knowing that their time for rest is short, the party talks amongst themselves. Nalfine speaks to Twig about celebrating her birthday in Raven Rock after all of this is over. They also take the time to support one another and swallow their fears. Lila comforts Belle and also acknowledges her feelings for Zevran, with the two sharing a quick kiss. Yorick also speaks to Lila, reminding her that he is still on her side and will follow her plans as she attempts to save Finch. With everything in place, the party approaches the rift and begin to feel the effects on the ship as they try to pass through it. The ship is immediately bombarded by multiple Bansheen and various other creatures of the Dark One. The party and the rest of the crew all fight them off, doing everything they can to stave off the threat before it's too late. After a long and fierce battle, the ship passes through the rift. However, things are not as ideal as the party had hoped. Everyone wakes up, with many of them separated from one another. In one group is Nalfine, Yorick, and Ephraim. Another, Yuri, Twig, and Lila. Danny, Tiberius, and the Hidden Flame. And finally, Belle, Zevran, and the Oracle. Stuck in this pocket dimension, the party must try to reunite with each other while traversing the dangers of this realm.
Exactly. Thank you.
There was a lot of combat. That was the best I could do for a summary.
No, you are good. No problem at all. So with that, we will go ahead and transition back to the end. This moment in existence. This finite point where Emerald many sessions ago, many months ago, banished himself as well as two of the Forsaken in an effort to keep them locked away at the risk of keeping himself locked away. But the party knows that they need to save him, and that's what they're here to do. However, it has not exactly gone according to plan. As they arrive in this point in time, getting here was not an easy stroll. The ship badly damaged after being torn through this spot, this singularity. As it emerged, it crashed, separating into many pieces, spreading across this awful point, this sprawling, desolate wasteland. Our parties are separated. Some of them are alone. Some of them, luckily, still have martial prowess. But all of you, even though you are separate, all of you can feel this coldness envelop you. Each one of you, regardless of your nature, whether you be a fighter or a cleric or a sorcerer, whatever, there is this warmth you feel that burns inside of you, this connection to the weave, this connection to magic. It's gone. The weapons you carry with you that are enchanted with magical abilities, they're gone. Twig, the staff that you carry, that was gifted to you by the druid many days ago, it's nothing more than a stick of wood. Nalfian, the runes on your sword that would glow in the shimmering colors of red and white, reflective of the giant's runes, are now just simple engravings. Yorick, the singularity that swirled around your glaive is now nothing more than decorative metalwork. Eurydice, the spear that you wield that grants you this powerful connection is now nothing more than an incredibly decorative staff made from glass and diamonds. And Lila, the breastplate that you wore that would swirl with astral energy is now just a simple sheet of metal. It still offers you protection. And on top of that, any magical abilities that are outside of the realm of possibilities in an entirely mundane world no longer work. No spell casting, no magical abilities like summoning an echo or things that are connected to some type of magical entity. So for a lot of these things, it's going to be a case-by-case basis, but for most of you, that means your entire character sheet, aside from your stats and your health, are no longer useful. Now, if you have a question about something, we can get into that in the moment, but for the most part, most abilities that all of you have are no longer usable. It is up to your character's intelligence, to their strengths, that they still have with them to get through this. Now, as we dive in, we first cut to the first group that I had mentioned. Yorick, Nalfian, and Ephron. As Nalfian, there is a piece of wood that is lifted up from on top of you. You can see Ephron pulling that sheet of wood. Yorick, you crashed into the dirt, causing the small crater to appear from the heavy armor that you wear, and Ephron comes over to you and helps you up. You can see that he is scarred and bruised, but still alive. Yorick and Nalfian, you do not see any of your companions around you. It's just the three of you. So my question is, Yorick, Nalfian, is there anything in particular you two wanted to do as you begin to see this?
I'm sorry, could you clarify? Ephron or Zephyrin is with us?
Ephron.
Ephron.
The alien, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
I mean, as soon as Nalfian gets up, he's kind of clutching at his side a little bit, having been pinned down. He'll just kind of glance around. And he'll lock eyes with Ephron. Where's everyone else?
I do not know. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
No, I landed maybe 15 minutes that way.
And Nalfian stopped listening. He's already looking around.
Yeah, Nalfian, go ahead and make a perception check as you begin to look around. Okay. Nalfian, you're able to sort of move past the both of them on top of a higher ridge, right? Climbing up a fair bit of rock. Using your natural athleticism and dexterity, you get to the top of a ledge. You stand and you survey the area. You look far and wide. The land around you is flat for the most part, but there are these rocky crevices and large hills and sometimes even mountains that sprout up out of nowhere. These trails of fire and lava that pour down them. As you look around surveying the area, as far as you can see, in the radius you can, probably an hour to 2 hours of walking, you don't see anybody at all.
Fuck! He's just gonna like throw his dagger into the fucking sand. He's so pissed in this moment.
York's gonna drink his greater healing potion. Just throwing that out there real quick.
Okay, yeah.
He's gonna like cup his hands over his mouth, and he's gonna shout, "Twig! Eurydice! Lila! Anyone! Is anyone fucking there?" And he's gonna shout.
Your voice echoes across the rocky landscape in front of you. No response.
What the fuck? I'm gonna put his hands like on the back of his head as he's just kind of looking around, trying to figure out what to do.
Alright, well. That didn't go as planned. These things happen, though. Now, do you see any sort of, like, landmarks, anything that kind of sticks out at all, even if you can't see anyone else?
I don't fucking know. He's gonna kind of blink a few times and try to find something that looks different than sand.
Yeah. As you are surveying the rocky area, initially you were focused on finding people. Keeping that in mind, trying to find something else, you can see a small, with a 20, this small inlet. It looks like a cave entrance into a rocky mountainside, maybe an hour and a half walk away.
He's gonna aggressively pick up his dagger out of the sand and point that direction. But it looks like there's something over there. Can you walk? Are you alright?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Just, like, openly bleeding. Nah, I've had worse. Alright, we'll head there. Efren, you know your shit better than anyone. While we're going, try to keep an eye out for it, right? Because if there's other parts of the ship, there might be other people there, okay?
I'll keep an eye out. I just want to stress. I do not know what could be here aside from the three that we know of. But there's no knowing what could await here, so...
But if we made the crash, everyone else would have too, right?
Correct, which means the Bansheen and potentially Issen could be here as well.
Right.
Well, sitting around is a pretty good way that they're gonna find us. I say that we take the initiative.
Correct.
By the way, I know Efren's an artificer, but like his gun still works, correct? Like that's not magic. He just has a gun.
Yeah, he does have a large rifle that still works, and he still has ammunition for. He just can't. It's not as good because it's not magical, but.
Oh, same. So no worries. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright.
Nalfian is going to switch his vision. He's also going to second wind preemptively. That he can do, right?
Yeah, second wind. That is not a magical ability. That is just you catching your breath.
Okay.
So, go ahead and mark off a hit die for activating that other vision. I will say, upon initial activation, it's a little hard to see anything in this area because there are these streams of these streams of fire and lava that spew out of the mountainside, so they obscure your vision a bit. But it's not so much that it hurts. The general temperature here is warmer than normal, but not so warm that it would cause bodies to be invisible. You'd still be able to see them.
And I think when he's taking that second wind, you can see he was visibly angry and irritated to the point where he was shaking at first. And as soon as he just takes a moment to breathe, he's gonna switch his vision, take a very deep breath, and it's just tense now. He's not angry, he just looks like he's incredibly focused. And he's just going to, without saying another word, start heading in that direction.
Okay.
He's gonna sheath his dagger, but he's gonna draw his sword.
Okay. Alrighty.
Yorick will just glance back to Efren. Let me know if you see anything, and then he'll start following.
All right.
So Efren nods, and the three of you begin to walk. Also, thank you, Arrow, for the 6 months. Very kind. Thanks.
Hey.
So, with that, as the three of you begin heading towards that small inlet, we're now going to cut to a different party. Twig, as we now cut to you. You, upon crashing, you only remember bits and pieces. You remember slamming into the side of a wall next to a piece of lumber and then sort of rolling down a hill a bit. As you wake up, your face is just, you can feel from where you had passed out just a little bit, there are pebbles that are like pressed into your face from having landed and having fallen. As you sort of begin to move, you brush them away and they leave these small indentations and red marks across your palm, forearm, and the side of your face from where you had landed. As you sort of open your eyes and begin to look around, you can see that Lila and Eurydice, the two of you, begin to suffer a similar fate, as all of you had sort of begun to slide down this gravelly hill. As all three of you sort of open your eyes and look to each other, all of you see each other near, maybe 15, 30 feet away from each other. However, at the bottom of this hill, you can see green and white armor that, well, you can see Blossom, but she's not moving at all.
I think once Lila's like finally not completely confused, as soon as she sees Blossom, she would run down, maybe sliding down the hill, depending how loose the gravel is, trying to get to her.
As you go to stand up initially, you do end up slipping a bit and slide the rest of the way down.
Yeah. And whenever she gets to her, she'll just kind of like try and assess like what's going on, if she's like out cold, if she's stable, if she's out.
Yeah. As you make your way to Blossom, you can see there are, even though she is wearing the armor, there still are subtle rises and falls to the chest. She still is alive. She is conscious, but it seems as though she's just kind of passed out.
Okay. She will yell up to the other two that she'll say, she's okay, she's breathing, just resting. Can you two make it down?
I think so. Yuri's gonna offer her hand to Twig to try and get down without Twig just falling.
Yeah, no, I think just as Lila's yelling up at them, though, Twig is going to, like, put her finger to her lips and, like, a little hush. And before they do go down, Twig would like to just have a look around, and specifically for any signs of, like, people moving through. Any signs of, like, trails or, like, potential scuffles, anything like that. Just while they're at this high advantage.
Make a perception check.
Ciao. I don't know how to roll, but it's okay.
Okay, well, 19 still. As you're looking around, you don't see any tracks that immediately stick out to you that are new. But at the very bottom of the gravel hill, maybe 15, 20 feet away from Blossom, there does seem to be a small path that does look worn, at least. People have walked there before. You're not sure how recent or how lately that had happened, but you do recognize that people have traversed this area before. Doesn't look recent, though. I'll say that much.
Okay. It's at least a bit relieving. Should just take that in and then make our way down with Yuri then.
Okay. So, yep.
going down, Yuri's like looking at the spear like, fuck. And then looking, she's specifically gonna look around for like, it's not gonna help, but she's looking for like Nalfian, Yorick, Zebran, everyone.
Yeah.
Trying to see if there's anything distinctive.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check. Twig, and you were to see the two of you helping each other down. Sorry, what was that? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yuri's just gonna kind of like lower her voice, but look at Twig and Lila and be like, where is everyone else? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't. I was so focused on Blossom. They can't be far. We all landed in the same place. We just got spread out, right?
I mean, I couldn't see anyone else.
Yuri got a 19 for perception. As well.
19? Okay. Yeah, so as you sort of peek your head up and look around a bit, you're not at a very advantageous position right now. So you don't see really anybody. You do see the similar tracks that Twig had seen, though. Like a worn path that people have walked before. You're just not super sure how recently. So that at least could maybe have been somebody. But you're not sure. You're pretty sure that would have been before the crash, though. But you don't see any people aside from the four of you that are here.
I guess we could try and get up higher.
Is Blossom okay though?
She's okay. I don't know if I can wake her, and I don't know if we should. Eurydice, do you think if we both, like, took an arm and we could walk with her? It'd be really hard to get up, though, carrying her. Like, if we want to get to higher ground.
The ground isn't the easiest, and if we're trying to carry Blossom as well, and I'm also aware that if we're here, there's not just friends here. I'm wary about how much we want to be seen. I don't know. How do we find anyone without finding the 13 first?
Maybe two of us can get to higher ground to see if they can see anyone. And then just come back here, and then we can go from there while someone stays here with Blossom.
Yeah.
How much
I mean,
higher ground is there from where we already were though? Because we were already previously higher, right? Like,
yeah.
was there anything like distinctively higher that was close by?
Yeah, so if you were to try and scale up the gravel that you had slid down, you could maybe get an extra 40, 50 feet up in the air. You're not sure what's behind this sort of like gravelly, rocky mound that you're currently at the base of. You're not sure what's past that. But you could get a little bit of high ground.
Right. I mean, there's also a trail down here, though. I don't think it'd be anyone from our ship, but it could also be Emerald.
It could be, but there's only 3 people that we know who've been here for an extended period of time, and 2 of them aren't ones that we want to meet.
We could
But
just try and move quietly.
Yeah.
If she gets closer to where the trail is it easier to then see if it's like 2 or 1 people person? There you go.
Yeah, go ahead and make as you approach a little bit, you're not super far away from them, maybe 20, 30 feet. Go ahead and make a survival check as you begin to investigate the tracks and the path a little bit more closely.
Please be better. Fucking same number? No, worse number. Okay.
16. Luckily, there isn't too much that happens here to disturb tracks. It's not as clear as footprints in mud or in snow, but with a 16, you do have a pretty clear idea that it looks as though it's just one set of footprints. You're not sure when or what size. They're bipedal humanoid, someone wearing shoes, but it was just one person.
I don't know if this is asking too much for a 16, but like, am I able to see like the condition of their gait? Like if they're like running or if it seems like they're like limping or anything like that, you know?
Oh, yeah, no, that's not too much. No, it looks like somebody was walking, not at a fast pace at all. They were taking very slow steps, and there was not very much distance between them. Their pacing was relatively normal.
I mean, it seems like it was only one person, and that they're being careful. What if it is Emriel?
Even if it wasn't, it's the only thing we have.
At that point,
And-
as Lila and Eurydice, the two of you are near Blossom, you can hear her start to cough. And she goes, oh, all right, I'm awake now. And you can see her face is incredibly gaunt from the life force that was sapped from her as she tries to begin to stand up.
Hey, be careful. And she will. Can Lila assess if she's got like any wound? Basically, like, what can Lila do to kind of patch her up to make her getting up and standing and walking easier? Does she have anything that she needs, like, you know, repaired in a
Yeah.
nursing kind of way, than a cleric kind of way?
Yeah, there is a larger gash underneath her armor where one of Issen's the large spikes on the tail of the creature, they pierce through the armor, and that is punctured, and those are still bleeding even though they have congealed a bit. There's still a small trickling of blood, so a tourniquet of some kind or just pressure at least applied to that area would help a bit to make it so she's not in so much pain.
Use her arrows to kind of like get a tear and start to rip some of her dress at the bottom, and then go ahead and wrap it.
Oh, okay, all right.
Sorry,
No,
nothing
you're
to do
good.
about the pain.
You're all right. And you see her kind of.
Or a potion?
I don't.
Because I've got one, but I don't know how quickly one of we use those up, you know?
Yeah. What is Blossom at for health right now?
She's at 2. Yeah.
I honestly think maybe might as well use it before it's too late, because we don't have any magic, so
Yeah, okay.
rather
What is
than
it
her
for,
going down.
Grado?
44 plus 4.
40.
Oh, I do have 2 normal ones, so at least we have that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'll go ahead and add that to her thing.
after Lila's done kind of wrapping the wound and everything, and Twig gives her the potion, knowing most likely not, she's gonna do, because she hasn't been very perceptive, she's gonna try and like look around and see if she sees anybody, but like focusing on Belle, or if she can hear any sounds anywhere.
Okay. So go ahead and make a perception check. 21. Okay. As you're now at the bottom of this path, at the bottom of this hill near this path, as you're helping Blossom stand up, moving closer to where Twig is, as you look down, you can see down this path a fair bit, even though there's a bit of a heat mirage going on, you can see that potentially, well, there might be some type of structure further down that path. You're not sure if it's the rock and fire and heat sort of creating a mirage for you, but there looks to be something maybe 45 minutes to an hour from where you're at.
Guys, I think there's something down this path. Maybe it's some of the ship. I can't make it out. But it's something.
If it's something, we should try.
Are we? I think Twig's right on staying quiet. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves. Do we feel like we're ready to get going?
I don't like the idea of staying around for too long. I think we should.
Blossom, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. We gotta get going.
Well, let me give you a hand so it's not as. Hopefully it's not as hard. And she'll try and like put an arm around Blossom to just kind of give her a bit more stability.
Thanks, I appreciate it. And she's definitely leaning on you in this moment. It's not one of those like, oh, we're friends. It's like, I need you here or else I'm gonna fall over.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So with that, the four of you begin to walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Alrighty.
keeping an eye out, staying quiet.
Alrighty. So keeping an eye out, staying quiet. I would like all four of you to make stealth checks as you're trying to be as quiet and nonchalant as possible. I'll go ahead and roll for Blossom. Oh, I didn't mean to make that a private GM roll. Blossom was a dirty 20.
Oh, that's good.
And then for Yuri.
Holy shit! I rolled a natural 20. What the fuck?
Okay, yo. Well, that balances out Lila's.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Y'all carrying Lila right now. So.
Well,
Carrying you and Blossom.
Yeah.
All right. It's because of that. That's why Blossom rolled so high. So 20
makes
plus
sense.
17 plus.
Lila's too focused on finding Belle to be super stealthy. Her mind's in 7 places.
Divided by 4. All right. That is an average of almost 19. Cool. So the four of you, you move quietly. You move quickly. You move with purpose. As you begin to move towards that heat mirage, eventually that waviness to the air begins to stop. As the closer you get, after 15 minutes or so of walking, there is a structure there. You're not sure what's within, but there's somebody. And hopefully it's Emeril. With that, we're going to go ahead and cut
Wait,
back
there's-
to...
someone there? It's like the structure and a person, or like there's maybe someone in the structure?
There's maybe someone in the structure because there are tracks that
Okay.
lead to the structure. Yeah.
Okay, just started panicking.
There might be someone there, and hopefully it's Emeril. So, with that, we'll go ahead and cut back to Yorick and Nalfian and Ephron. The three of you have been walking for about an hour and a half now. And eventually, you do get to a small crevasse, this inlet, this very small, tight cave entrance that is nothing more than a larger crack in the wall that would allow you to enter. It requires you to squeeze through a fair bit, but all three of you would be able to get in. Nalfian obviously would have the easiest time, followed by Yorick and Ephron. But it's possible for all three of you to get in. So, as you go to enter, the cave is very dark. There is no light within it. What do you want to do? Is there anything in particular you want to do before you enter, or are you just going for it?
I mean, if Nalfian's leading the way, he can see heat signatures. So does he see anything in this darkness?
Yeah, before entering, as you peer through the crack, you don't see anything.
But it's like pitch black in there.
Yeah, correct.
And Alf's just gonna turn his head and look at Yorick. It's completely dark, but I don't see anything ahead. Nothing
Well,
alive, that is.
Well, this would be a good place to hide. Do we want to go at least a little bit in and see if Emerald's around?
Yep. Just brace yourself, because I don't know what's on the other end.
Oh, don't worry. I've been braced the whole time.
Alright, with that, Nalf's gonna lead the way.
Okay. Alrighty. So, as the three of you begin to enter, you one by one slide in. However, after all three of you enter, you can hear from outside this screech, this roar. It is simultaneously a low, bellowing quake of a roar, but then this alternating high-pitched squeal at the same time. You're not sure what that was, but you're inside now. So, did you make your way in? Nalfian, with the eyesight that you have, you're extra aware of physical forms within dark spaces. The interior is much colder than the exterior. Everything in here is either black or dull blues as you look out for heat signatures. Yorick and Ephron. Yorick, you have dark vision, right?
Yep.
Okay, Ephron does too. So the three of you begin to slowly make your way throughout this cave. Incredibly small, incredibly narrow. Footstep after footstep, you move. You can hear another one of those bellowing screeches from outside again, but you feel as though you're safe within. Eventually, you make your way to a larger opening. In this area, you can see a collection of rocks that seemingly have been moved in a way that is almost like a maze, or barricades. These rocks that have been placed in a way to provide cover or to move around near. Nalfian, as you are looking around with the vision, you can see that some of the rocks, you can see these handprints on the rock. On some of them, they are very recent, as the heat is still on it, but is slowly beginning to fade away.
Can Nelf put his hand on a nearby rock and just kind of gauge the size difference?
Yeah, as you put your hand on the rock, the hand is the same size, generally, and it is a right hand print.
Now Finn's just gonna whisper to Yorick and Ephron, someone's here. Oh, they were here not that long ago.
Well, we're on the track to finding someone at least.
That's right. We're gonna keep following, but let's try to stay as quiet as possible. And
You're
Nalf's just gonna, like, hit X to go into stealth mode.
Okay.
I assume they were already being quiet, but...
Yeah, I'll just want some
trying.
stealth checks from you guys then.
Yeah.
Great.
Ooh,
Yeah,
26.
Yeah, that seems about right.
What am I rolling with advantage? Oh. Because I did that. Okay.
All right. Well, luckily, Yorick. The other two, you know how high stakes this situation is. So even though it is not something that comes easy to you, trying your best, luckily, with an average of... an average of about 19, once again. The three of you are able to move quietly and quickly. None of you causing any damage to hinder the other. You move. As you are moving, you can see that there are rocks that have been laid out or been chipped away at to cause these sharp, jagged teeth that jut out of the dirt and sand in this cave. Keeping an eye out, you move past them. Luckily, the fact that two of you have dark vision and Nalfian with your infrared vision You move past them easily. Eventually making your way past all of the rocks and all of the barriers. You hear a large stone shift and crack a bit further down a passageway.
I mean, Now's gonna look at Yorick, but he's following it.
Right behind you.
Okay. So the three of you begin to move, following the sound down a long, winding passageway, till eventually you get to another cave entrance, but that has been blocked off by a stone that seemingly has fallen into place. So there is a way to go here, but there is a stone that is blocking your way.
Does Yorick think that he could shift and move it, or is it like way too big?
You're only seeing one end of it right now. It looks like somebody moved it here. So Yorick being hopefully stronger than the person that moved it. I mean, maybe.
All right. Let's give it a shot.
Okay.
If anyone
Alrighty.
wants to help, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Nalf would absolutely help.
Yeah, and Ephron will help too. So go ahead and make an athletics check with advantage.
All right. No, that... Okay, well, I'll just roll a second time. Okay, 16.
16. Okay. So with a first heave, you lift and lift and lift, and it is heavy. It is very, very, very heavy. And as you push and pull a bit, you can make a small crack up here. This entry point that you've made, it seems big enough that maybe Nalfian in that moment could squeeze through, but you feel your grip is starting to loosen, and you're not sure if you're going to be able to open enough for all three people to get through.
Yorick kind of gives Nalfian a look. If you want to go, it's now, but I'm not going to be able to follow.
Oh, fuck. Okay. And Nalfian will slip through.
Okay. All right, Nalfian, you slip through, and there is this as the rock slams behind you. As Ephron and Yorick, you are left on one side. Nalfian, you've made your way onto the other. Nalfian, as you get onto the other side, you can see why it was so hard to open. There is an upward slope that you're heading up. So it is incredibly difficult to move the rock up the hill, as it seems as though somebody was able to maneuver it down the hill.
Oh shit! Wow. Okay.
So now
even from my side, we wouldn't be able to work together to wiggle it.
you
Enough, just because of the slope.
well, you have a little bit more leverage here, so you could definitely try to peel it back a bit so the two of them could get in. But you really only have one more shot, as you're already really tired and really exhausted, and you don't have the stamina to continue to try and heave this rock.
He's gonna like put his body up against the rock and just say to Yorick, "We're gonna try it one more time. I'm at an angle, but I might be able to get a little bit of leverage from this side."
Okay.
Okay. I would like an athletics check from both of you with advantage.
Oh, you gotta carry us on this one, my guy.
I'll try. Not a great start. All right, 25.
Hey.
Okay, 25
The boys
and
are
a
back in
19.
town.
That is enough. As Yorick and Ephron and Nalfian, you rock back and forth, eventually tilting the rock onto its side. As it crashes and falls, Nalfian, you kind of have to jump back out of the way before it like crushes your legs. But you jump back a little bit, and the rock is now tilted back. And Yorick and Ephron, you can climb over with no problem.
Well, whoever's here probably knows we're coming now. Yorick says as he climbs through.
Let's just keep moving then.
No. Is Nalfian like still seeing like handprints? Because he saw that one. So if they came this way, is he still seeing more of like someone kind of moving this stuff or touching anything, or footprints even?
Great question.
Footprints, no. through the heated vision. Every once in a while, going up the hill, you do see a handprint that is fading on the right-hand side of the cavern.
So, interesting. So does it, I don't know if I can tell from just a handprint, but does it look like they're using like the wall and these rocks as support for themselves to like carry themselves, or are they just...
Correct.
So they might be injured, is kind of what Nalfian's coming to the conclusion of.
Yeah, you don't see any blood or anything, but for you to walk up this slope right now, you even find yourself needing to apply a bit of pressure, so they might be in a similar injured state as you.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep moving then.
Alrighty. So with that, 3 of you move up. And as eventually you get to the top of this hill, inside this cave, inside this rocky mountain, you can see you are in a much wider open area. There are these plateaus and ledges all around you as you sit in a very flat area. And as you sit there, you look up for maybe the best way to climb up some of the ledges. You hear this sound of a large rock scooting on stone. As you see one of the boulders up near the top, maybe 50, 100 feet up in the air, is slowly scratching towards the surface to fall down on top of the 3 of you.
What the fuck? Okay, can they like press their bodies up against a wall to get out of the way?
Yeah, the boulders are not as big as the opening you're in. But if that's what you want to do, you can sort of press your body up against the wall as it comes crashing down.
Unless they have enough, time to just make a run for it.
I was about to say, unless we can run and move out of the way.
Yeah, you can definitely like run back into
Okay, I didn't know how much time we had.
Yeah, no, it was not nearly all the way off. But as you sort of hear the rock with the passive perceptions being high enough, you retreat back into the other room as the rock comes crashing down that 150-foot drop and shatters into 50 or 60 pieces all over the ground. But you don't hear another one start to fall.
We gotta pick up the pace.
Yeah.
York's just gonna try running to try and catch up to whoever this person is
Okay.
before
Yeah.
they have time to set up another trap.
Now
Yeah.
follow. I guess we're forgoing stealth at this point because they're just gonna throw fucking
They know
rocks
we're
on us.
here.
Okay. Yeah. So as the 3 of you begin to move, there are these plateaus in this area that are these rocky ledges that you can climb up and move around. They're not super hard, not super difficult, but they take time. And as you are trying to move up them, there are these rocks that will continue to be pushed off and thrown down towards you. Right? They're not incredibly large boulders. They're something that could be moved by a singular person, hoping that gravity will do the rest of the work. As the 3 of you begin to climb and move, more of these boulders come falling. And I guess my question is to the 2 of you, what are you doing to try and either A, stop them or avoid them?
I mean, go ahead, Ryan. I'll cut you off.
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
So I mean, we're starting to hear, like, as we do whatever we're doing, we're starting to hear another rock moving. You said they're like 150 feet up in the air?
Yeah.
All right. Brian's not good with distance, but like if York yelled, could his voice carry up there?
Yeah.
All right. Kind of looking at Alfie giving a quick shrug. Hey, Solvis, we're here to help. Just hoping to see if that does
shit.
anything.
The rock stops moving, and we're going to cut back to the other 4.
Oh shit! High five.
Hey, I was like, well, it's either a friend or a foe. Let's find out.
So, as we cut back to the other 3 party members in Blossom, the 4 of you have been walking towards this mirage-like structure. As you now have been traveling for 20, 25 minutes, it's closer. And it is a real structure, and it's several structures. Maybe something that used to be a small town, maybe? As you approach, you can see thatched roofs that have kind of burnt and smoldered away, buildings that have crumpled and fallen, but some buildings still stand, buildings made from stone. As you begin to look around, is there any particular strategy you want to approach this with, or are you just spreading out, looking through as many places as possible?
I mean, I feel like just looking for any signs of life would be the main thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, like... I feel like we kind of fan, but I don't want to, like, get out of line of sight from anyone, you know?
And definitely buddy systems. So if, like, Yuri's with Blossom, Lila's gonna stick with Twig.
Okay.
That
But I
works.
think, yeah, keeping it. I think Lila at least would try and continue to be as stealthy as possible. Like, you know, not just like waltzing into a room, maybe trying to listen before going in, or like peeking through a window or something.
Mm-hmm.
Still just following wherever those tracks go, you know?
Okay. Alrighty. So you can see the tracks spend, just with your passive survival skill, Twig, you can see those tracks spend a fair bit of time here. They move around quite a bit, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly. So as the two of you split off it's not a very large area, but you split off looking, I'd like both groups, one person to make an investigation check with advantage.
I've got plus 10.
I have +3, so go.
There's an advantage here. Roll. That's all. It's an advantage, because I can't roll.
Ooh.
Ah, ha, ha.
All right, and then Eurydice for you?
It's with advantage, isn't it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the first one's like 13, so I hope that this is better. That was not better. Uh, Investigations is just like +2, so it's a 15.
15. All right. Well, considering that the person that you're working with, slowing your pace a little bit, and their investigation skills are probably not as strong as yours are right now. 15, you poke around a few of the buildings, you find sort of burnt remains of, sadly, you find burnt remains of people, just burnt to a crisp, petrified in ash and soot as you look through some of the residential buildings. But you don't find anything else of note other than that. Lila and Twig, however, you make your way into several buildings, finding similar situations until you make your way into a larger stone building. This building, maybe at one point in time, was a library. You can see that upon entry, there are 2 stone staircases that move up in a crescent shape up towards a second story. And as you enter, your feet, your shoes, they cause this sort of like clicking noise on the floor as you walk, echoing throughout the area. There's very little dust and gravel that has made its way in here. And as you make your way in, with both of your passive perceptions, which 19 and 19, coming from the second story, you can also hear footsteps.
I guess Lila would look to Twig and try and, as quietly as possible, maybe even like taking the shoes off, like get up to the second level just to see if they can like even see or hear anything else besides footsteps.
Okay.
I was also thinking maybe like even like, 'cause it's like clicking on stone, and so like tying like a bit of cloth to the sole of the shoe just to dampen it as well.
Okay. Put some silencers on your feet. Got it.
Oh, yeah.
So you.
Lila's just holding her shoes.
Silent dog. Let's start. I'm gonna take off
Okay.
my shoes. I'm not Eurydice, I'm a gross, you know.
Okay, well, Lila will be gross. She's already ripped her skirt. She'll take her shoes off, so.
Yeah, you really get comfy at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So you so you do just that.
Delayed.
Twig, you tie the small bits of cloth around the bottom of your shoes to dampen the noise. Lila removing the noise entirely. As the two of you make your way up, I'd like both of you to make stealth checks. Luckily, because of what you did, you're negating disadvantage, so this is just going to be a straight roll as the two of you quietly make your way up the stairs.
Same. I got the same number.
Okay.
It was out a bit higher though.
Twig, you head up the stairs first. Given the fact that in some cases you have a sharper eye and tend to be a little bit more quieter than most of the other people you adventure with. As you make your way up, there are a few areas that you avoid specifically. Large clumpings of sand that had drifted in from the outside. Lila, that is not the same case for you. However, as you're making your way up, your foot ends up hitting a pile of sand. Within that pile of sand, there is a large collection of gravel that your foot directly makes contact with, and you let out this small yelp of pain just from the imminent stabs of those sharp pieces of gravel. Twig, you immediately look back to her as she covers her mouth, and the two of you stand there, and you hear the footprints immediately quicken out as the two of you have been found. And you can see emerging from the shadows of this stony building.
I'll say real quick, Twig totally has a crossbow like cocked, you know, because they're just walking upstairs, so you know she could just have it there. But yeah, she'd like
guess
move
Lila's
up so
doing what
quickly,
she
you know.
Exiting from the shadows, you can see a man in torn blues and greens, weathered from sand and fire, burnt around the edges, longer hair that comes down to his shoulders, as well as a beard that has now grown out around his face, tinged with gray, and he holds a wand in his hand. As you see one of the 13 Forsaken, Cassius Finch, as he points the wand at you, Twig, and says,
I recommend you put the weapon down. Hello, Lila. It is very good to see you again.
Twig knows what's up. There is no magic here, and so she still has her finger on the fucking trigger. But she's just gonna hold.
Lila will. She doesn't have her bow because she was holding her shoes. She's going to like slowly put them back on, like a dweeb. And she, with her hands up, is going to say, "Look, everything's really tense right now. Just let Twig go. No one else is here. It's just me and you, okay?"
make a deception check.
You are not a good liar, Lila. You think I would believe the last time I saw you, traveling with all of them, they would not have come here? They would have let you come here alone with this child. Like I said, put the weapon down.
Where's the other one of you?
Why does it matter? I told them that we would reconvene here. So I'm assuming they'll be here very shortly.
Inside?
Yeah, make an insight check.
It's a good call.
Okay. As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
Precious, I have some things to say to you, but I really think that it should just be the two of us talking.
Tell the child to put the weapon down before I kill her.
close is Cassius to us right now?
45 feet maybe.
Okay. How much further can he be from us and still in the same room? Is that a weird question? How big is this room?
Well, right now you're in like the foyer of this library. So this room itself is probably 150 square feet
Okay.
with the 2 staircases that lead up. He's on the ledge. What is the specific word for that? Balcony.
Balcony?
Yeah. He's on the balcony that the stairs are connected to. He just came from one of the side hallways. So he's standing just outside of the shadow, 40 feet away from you, but there's like 110 feet you could go back towards the entryway.
Back up first.
Put your weapon down first, and I will back up.
Probably gonna like glance backwards at Lila.
She'll just
like,
nod
what do I do?
to me. Put it down.
Okay. She'll lower it, but the way crossbows works, it's still gonna be, you know,
Yeah, of course.
loaded. Yeah.
Mhm. He'll back up. You can see that he is just on the edge of the shadow, and you can see those shadows begin to move slightly towards him, just sort of gripping onto his shoulder. And you can see like tendrils of translucent energy. They sort of curl around his neck as he stands near them.
Lila's going to take a few steps closer so that she's like now in front, more in front of Twig than behind.
Okay.
Cassius, are you willing to talk to me for like a second?
We can talk, yes. But know that you will be coming with me.
Going with you.
Yes? You are not stupid, Lila. I know that. I taught you for many years, and I know you would not have come here without an exit. You will be coming with me. You and the girl. You will come with me when Mezenkelnos arrives. And we will be leaving back to the material plane. So please,
Go, and I'll go with you.
Wait, sorry. You wanting her to leave?
Get you! Yeah! That is exactly what Lila is trying to do.
Okay,
So that you can get to Eurydice and Blossom and get away.
I mean, she's not gonna leave you alone with a Forsaken. I'm gonna tell you that real quick.
Because then you can warn Blossom in Eurydice. But she doesn't want...
Are there any, like... No, it's a dumb question. I'm gonna ask that.
Okay. As
Okay, she will-
you are thinking, in this moment, as Lila says that, right, all of this happening very quickly, wand now pointed at Lila. Twig, you down the stairs a bit from her. Lila, you closer to the balcony at the same level. As that is happening, Eurydice and Blossom, the two of you looking through town now, more trying to reconvene with Lila and Twig, you stumble across the same stone building. You can see there are windows that have not yet been shattered, and as you look in through the windows before entering, you see Cassius standing there, wand pointed at Lila. Lila on the same plane as him, and Twig crouching, crossbow loaded on the staircase near Lila.
Fuck. Okay. Yuri's gonna look at Blossom and not say anything, but kind of nod at that and go, like, really quietly, "What the fuck do we do?"
I mean, he can't use magic, right? I've got a sword.
Come on, Julie, it doesn't work. I've got a spear, you've got a sword, Twig's got a crossbow. Why isn't she shooting? Well, no, she can't, but what... if we... I don't... But where's the other one? There's 213 here, where's the other one?
You can see Blossom looks around. She doesn't see anything, and she says, I don't know, but there's one in there.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, is there any other way to get up to that floor other than the way that Twig and Lila went?
Yeah, you can go around the back of the building, and you do find a back entrance that you can go into.
Okay, Yuri's gonna go that way.
Okay. All right, Blossom will come with you. And the more she's been walking, she can now start to walk on her own now, and you no longer have to carry her. As the potion begins to sort of naturally take its effect.
We're gonna try and quietly go up that way, and the plan is to try and get behind Cassius Finch.
Okay. Alrighty. Go ahead and make a stealth check, and I'll have Blossom make one as well.
Fuck. I am so...
So 23.
terrified.
And Blossom.
Okay. This just needs to be good. This just needs to be good. Fuck me! It's a natural one!
Okay. Alrighty. So the two of you make your way around the back, and we will...
No!
We'll come to the natural one in a second.
No!
So, Lila, as you stand there, Twig still in the room, Cassius with his wand pointed towards you. You can't use magic here. Surely he can't either, right? As you see the tendrils gripping around him. We cut back to the other three.
Roll.
So, Yorick, Nalthian, Ephron. As you shout out, Yorick, the name of the man that you hope is up there, the boulder stops. And you hear a voice respond back. Who's down there? How do you know my name?
Does that sound like him? Looking over to Nalfian.
It doesn't sound like him. It sounds like him.
Yeah, it's it sounds like
yeah,
him.
yeah.
York's never met this guy. He
Nice.
has no
I
idea.
know. I was confirming it too.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
yeah,
I
it
heard his
sounds
voice
like
for a
him.
minute. Okay. Nalfian would look to Yorick and nod.
Hi, I'm Yorick. I'm here with Nalfian and the Forerunners.
Nalfian, and you can see immediately Emerald comes from behind the rock. You can see his left arm is entirely missing as there is just a dangling bit of cloth that has been tied off. You can see his face is scarred in places. On his right hand, there are burns and bruises. As you can see, his hair has grown out long too, and a smaller beard is grown on his face. As he says, I'm coming down, and he begins to move with a fair bit more dexterity than you would assume a man with one arm would, as he begins to sort of climb down these ledges and make his way down to you. You can see his clothes are tattered. What initially was white and gold vestments is now dinged in gray and black, covered in soot, where those thin lines of gold are just barely visible anymore, as the clothing is so well worn. As he drops down and looks to the three of you and says, you have no idea how grateful I am that you've arrived. Yorick, you said your name was?
Yeah.
It's very nice to meet you. And he gestures out with his right hand to shake yours.
Yorick will shake it. But Joe, since this is the first time they're meeting, Emerald looks familiar to Yorick, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yorick will shake, but kind of just be staring a little bit confused.
All right. And
What the hell happened to your arm?
it was, and you can see he looks to Ephron, this alien creature that is also with you.
He's a friend, don't worry about it.
Ephron will nod, and Emerald says, "Very well. It's nice to meet you as well. Upon our last encounter in the Dowie chamber where they had been, Mez and Kelnos had been locked away, I was hit with a spell, and I felt my form begin to disintegrate. I did the only thing I could think to do. I felt this pull. My only chance. I plane shifted us to the deepest, darkest, farthest realm I could conjure in my mind. And in this realm, at least for me, there's no magic. It stopped the process. But Nalfian, I've been here for a very, very, very long time. I lost track after a while, but I've been running in this hellscape for what feels like 100 years. My magic
Listen.
doesn't work here, but you need to know this. That there's remnants of the shadow in this place. We're at a crossroads from a realm that fell and the realm that all of you and that I reside in. There are some traces of the shadow in this place. Mezin and Cassius, they still have some ability to commune with it.
They can use magic here, is what you're saying.
Not entirely. It's restricted, it is limited, it's not their full form, their full power, but
Fucking great. The rest of us are here somewhere, scattered about, and so is fucking 3 or 4 Banshin. Some demonic fucking creature as well followed us in here.
God.
I don't know where anybody is.
All right, then we need to find them. And when we do you have a way out of here?
We have something like that. We have a device that can suppress magic, and if they have some type of connection, we have some way, hopefully, to stop that. That's the fucking thing. They're the person who has it. We don't know where they are.
Fuck, that is not good. All right, if we can find that device, I can get us out.
All right. Yes. Wait. Listen. And Alfian's gonna hand him his sword. I have this. Belongs to you.
I thought Belle had the sword.
No. Belle has her sword. Nalfian has a different sword, right?
No.
Or is this the same sword? I thought we gave it to Nalf to hold on to.
I thought we gave it to Belle.
No,
Yeah,
the
no, I'm
party
pretty
the
sure
party
Belle
said
can
let
have
Belle
it.
keep it until we talk to
Yeah.
Emerald.
Oh, well, I guess our conversation, Joe, does not equate here then.
That's okay. Yeah, I thought. Sorry, I don't remember.
I thought I had it too, because I mean we talked about this, but it's okay.
Well, because we had talked about if Nalfian had decided to keep it.
Yeah, which I guess in my brain I thought
yeah.
that Nalfian had the sword. LOL, JK.
Yeah, no, sorry,
I'm
because
silly.
remember last
Haha.
session during the combat, I asked who had the sword, and everybody had said
Okay,
Belle
I
had it.
guess I got confused on swords. All right.
No, you're
never
fine.
mind.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. That's no big deal. It's no big deal. So he will say, if
Whiteout.
no, it's really okay. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm like
It's not a
putting
big
whiteout
deal.
on that part of the conversation. I'm sorry, I didn't.
No,
know
it's
I had it.
no, it's okay. It's okay. This is cross-wired. It's fine. I should have been more clear.
It's all good.
So, sorry. He says, there's something that you should be aware of, though. The thing that stopped my disintegration, the dissolving, the thing it stopped when I came into this non-magical place. If I re-enter something like that, this could have just been a tourniquet, for lack of a better word. If I enter some magical sphere in this non-magical place, it could cause me to fall to pieces, as I should have when I was hit. I don't know if that is the case, but it's possible.
And what if you were to be subjected to the same device that stops all magic from being used? I don't know if that would. I don't know how magic works, and I'm not as intelligent as with that as the rest of you are. But would that have some type of adverse effect? Slow it down, stop it, counter the spell itself? This is
Perhaps.
just a guess. I don't know.
No, it could. And you see he kind of looks down. So the part of his arm that had dissolved is right up about to his elbow. So his forearm and hand are gone on his left side, but he still has the rest of the arm and his shoulder. And he says, I suppose that could work. I don't know, though. It's a good theory, and I suppose we can try it when we get to it, but none of that matters if we don't get out of here in the first place.
Before we go, I have a question.
Of course.
How do we destroy the weave?
It's a very hard question, you understand. It is the life force that connects all of us, that allows us to perform great magical feats, that allows fate and destiny to spin and twist in a way that it deems as necessary. To destroy that is to destroy the very fabric of existence. So, I mean, in theory, the only way to destroy the weave is to let the Dark One win. Off the top of my head right now. Please forgive me, I am a bit removed from philosophical, theoretical debate about the pattern and the weave.
All right. Well,
I think
We
we'll
should
have
get
time
going
to
then.
think about that once we find everyone first and get you to safety.
All right. I know of a place where the two of
Great.
them have been frequenting.
Lead the way.
All right. And with that, Having found Emeril, one piece
thing
of this
real quick.
puzzle. Yeah.
Sorry, just as Emerald leads the way and Nalfian follows, Yorick stops Ephron real quick and he just leans in. Keep an eye on that one.
You can see
Just trust
Ephron
me.
nods.
That's it.
Okay. So, with that, the four of you now leave this cave, making your way out and following Imriel to the place where he claimed the Forsaken reside. As we now cut back to Lila and Twig. Yeah. So as you I'm sorry. As the sorry. Lila, as you stand there in front of Cassius, you can see Twig sort of crouched behind you on the staircase. No idea where Eurydice and Blossom are. So, continue on with your conversation. As Cassius, Juan pointed near you, he says,
So, what exactly is so important that you wish to discuss it with me?
Maybe if you step out of the darkness, you could have a bit of a clearer head about it. Because she can see, like, the tendrils on his neck.
yeah.
That one told me to back up. And now I am to step forward. I think you have a severe misunderstanding of who holds the power in this situation.
Which is why we are nervous. Sorry, we weren't prepared to know whether you should step forward or backwards. Please, just... If there's anything you can give me, it's just an open and clear mind. That's all I'm asking.
Fine. And he steps forward, and you can see those tendrils of shadow break away from him. Juan still pointed towards you.
I know we had a very contentious relationship. I know who you are and what you are now. And I know you probably don't care to hear what I have to say, which is fine. But, and she's going to pull the locket out from her bag. I don't know if he already can, like, notice the locket or anything. I have taken some time to try and understand you. As someone who has shaped my life, I could not understand who and what you truly were. What you've done to not just my family and me personally, but everything I've heard that you've done everywhere. I've met you, Cassius. The you that is deep down, the you that loved, that gave up everything. And she's gonna click the locket open and then toss it to him.
He will catch it with the other hand and look towards it.
Tell me about it. You must have really loved him to give up literally everything. Did you get what you wanted?
I'm sorry. What is this supposed to be? You show me the locket of some man.
What did I?
You don't recognize Aegon? You don't remember what you had to sacrifice for what you loved? Has the Dark One taken everything from you to the point that you're a shell? Are you even doing things for yourself anymore?
Quiet!
What are you doing this for? Are you his fucking puppet? Do you feel good? What power is so much? What sacrifice? When will it end?
I said, be quiet.
Silence me then, because I'm not gonna shut up. Cassius, how could you? You saw something in me that I struggled to see in myself. Where's my teacher?
I am not your teacher. I never was. The only reason I was at that god's-forsaken college was to corrupt the minds of the youth, was to find more fighting soldiers for the Dark One's war.
Did that work out? You made me. Tell me about Aegon. You know him. I know you know him. And she's gonna try and step closer to him.
Do not take another step closer.
I'm just making sure you can hear me. Who is Aegon?
Aegon. Aegon. He was. He was. Who was he?
He's an Air Genasi. You guys traveled together.
Stop! 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 Who was he? Who was he?
Was he unwell?
Stop talking! Lila, stop! Who was he? Who was he?
And then a shadowy figure approached you and offered you a deal.
Stop talking, filling my head with lies and deceit.
It's making sense. She's gonna try and step a little closer.
Make a persuasion check as you do.
Okay. Ooh.
Aww.
Okay.
What a time.
Confetti.
Going to pee myself. What the fuck? Okay.
Get it.
Lila,
Get it, queen.
your life flashes before your eyes in this moment. As you step forward, you did not think it was possible. But bolts of green crackling energy begin to form around the wand. As Lila and Twig, both you now realize there is some shred of magic that he's still able to use in this place. Take that into account with whatever you do next.
Okay. She won't step any further. Her hands are still up. I'm sorry. I'll stop pushing. I'll let you figure it out of who Aegon was.
Twig, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Lila is still close enough, even after those couple of steps, to kind of whisper at her. I think we should leave.
She will kind of...
And I'm just, if he's obviously the wand is a threat now, Twig would have lifted her crossbow up once again. And
As you do that, the wand immediately flicks to you, Twig.
Stop! No, she won't. I promise. Twig, go. Twig, go.
No. She is not going anywhere.
This is between us.
No, it isn't. Maybe before you fell into them, it was between us, but now, Lila, I'm so sorry. It is no longer you and me, it is you and all of the rest of your companions. It is all of us. Now. Put your weapon on the ground. Right now.
I think we should leave.
Lila will start to back up and try and get in front of Twig, like, so that he doesn't have at least line of sight of her.
Yeah, if Lila's backing up, Twig will kind of lower her crossbow a little bit and start to walk backwards down the stairs, which sounds terrifying to me, but hey. Slowly though, you know.
As the two of you do, you can see as you two begin to back up, Cassius begins to step forward. As he says, I had such strong faith in you, Lila. I thought of any of my students. You could truly make a difference. Bring an end to all of this.
I'm trying. Help me. That's what teachers do, right? They help their students?
I am not a teacher. I never was.
You're my professor. That's all I've known you as. I don't know this Forsaken. I don't believe that's you. I've met the teacher at the mausoleum of
You
school.
met a lie, is what you met. You met a facade that I put up. Nothing more, nothing less. Do you understand?
Facades don't end up in mausoleums. Facades don't get buried. Facades aren't souls. I can see it in you.
You can.
Yes. It's not the brightest light, but it's there. It's not gone.
No. There is nothing. There is nothing left. Are you two still backing up?
Island would maybe have stopped when she noticed that he was kind of cooperating again, but she definitely wants to make sure that she's the one between him and Twig.
Yeah, Twig would have stopped as well when Lila stops and just kind of reach forward, grab her hand in a kind of like we should keep going motion, but she's not gonna leave her.
Okay.
Or, you know, pull her aggressively, you know. She trusts Lila, but she's also really shit scared, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understandable. She's gonna squeeze her hand. She's not gonna let go.
Okay.
Professor Finch, there's more that you could do. Not just for me. You may have tried to come across as cold, but I know you care. I know you pushed me so hard because you know I was smart. Am smart. No one tried as hard as you did with me. And I'm better for it. You challenged me like no one else did. Why would a facade care so much?
Make another persuasion check, Lila.
Come on, bestie.
Okay, 16.
16. Okay. You see him look to you, and the wand slowly begins to lower. You're right. I did care. And you see as he begins to speak more words, as his mouth begins to open, you can hear a large shift and crack from back behind the shadow where he had come from, as it sounds like part of the building has sort of crumpled and broken, and leaping across one of the ledges, you can see Blossom and Eurydice sort of lunging over to the side, jumping past the part of the building that had collapsed and broken a bit. As they jump to the side, you can see Cassius immediately flick his head and his wand off to the side as it begins to crackle with that green energy once again, as he points the wand towards the two of them and then looks back towards you, Lila, and says, "So this was your plan?"
No,
This was
I didn't
it.
know where they were. Professor,
please
no. No.
What? Look,
I just wanted to
we saw you
protect-
pointing the wand. We were just. What's going on?
They
You
just
were-
care about me, okay?
You were trying to deceive me.
No, she didn't know we were coming. Seriously, she didn't. I promise.
Eurydice, make a persuasion check.
Fine. Everything's fine. Persuasion. Ooh.
Twig's gonna just
okay.
take her hand away from Lila though and have it back on crossbow. It's still lowered, but she's, she's gonna be
27.
27,
Like
okay.
Eurydice's gonna step forward as she says that, with her hands kind of up, like Lila is, but to 27.
I told them before we got here that I needed to talk to you. That I know that the teacher, the professor, the person who loved, who gave up everything for Aegon, I know is still there. And I wanted to try. You said yourself I'm smart. I know what I'm talking about. You said yourself you cared. I want to give you a second chance.
Lila. Please help me.
She's gonna get closer to him.
See the wand kind of falls to his side.
I can. I would like to check the vibes,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they're authentic.
Yeah, make an insight check.
Okay.
What friends are?
Man, it sucks when you can't read their mind, right?
Yeah, that's a real problem for me. So not that great, 13.
Okay. 13. So, with that, a 13. As you look towards him, you can see this sadness in his eyes. You believe that it is utterly genuine.
She'll quicken and get even closer to him.
Lila, be careful.
She'll nod to Eurydice. And this is a concept that I haven't really asked you about before, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I know magic's not a thing here, but I don't know if, like, since we're kind of still in the astral sea, and the whole concept of, like, seeing people's light, is there any way that she can, like, maybe it'd be another insight or maybe a religion check, but can she see the light in him, like a little star or anything, like swirling in darkness, like in his heart, or bullshit? This is stuff I've made up in my head that isn't real, but...
As you get closer, I'd say you'd have to be within like 5 feet of him.
Okay, she'll get close, that close.
Okay, as you do, make another insight check. As you take a risk.
Better, 23.
23. As you step within 5 feet, you can see his hand is outstretched a bit with the locket open as he says,
Please. I forget. Tell me more about Aegon.
As you do, you look towards the locket and you look towards him. And you can see there are these swirls of darkness and shadow around him. The tendrils of shadow stretch out towards him. They reach. But Lila, you can see this small amount of light within just grow a little brighter as he asks you about Aegon.
She will reach for his hand, not the wand hand, the hand
Yeah.
with Aegon's picture, and just kind of, not closing or anything, just like holding it so that he can still see the picture. And she'll start to basically recount the story that the Professor Finch that she met in the mausoleum told her.
As you grab his hand and you touch the locket, before you can begin to describe anything, you feel him immediately yank you towards him and put the wand directly up against your temple as he says,
Now all of you will listen to me. We are going to walk out that door. We are going to go where I am meant to meet Mezin Kelnos. And if you do not cooperate, she will die. Do you understand?
This is a really terrible question.
mm-hmm.
How's Lila looking in terms of, you know, her health and constitution?
In
Okay.
Constitution?
Well, she doesn't know her constitution, just like how much life force is in there, you know?
She's badly, she's 32 out of 91, so yeah.
Not to suggest anything, but, yeah, when it does happen though, Twig, she is very much gripping her crossbow. It's still in a lowered position. But she will, I guess, sidestep a little on the stairs. I'm assuming we're going down them, right?
Mm-hmm.
just, indicate that she is willing to follow, but she is keeping a very tight watch on Lila and him.
Before there's any more moves, as Lila's like looking into his eyes, even though he's probably not even looking at her, she'll just say, I don't care that you tricked me. I don't regret what I said, and I don't regret trying.
He doesn't respond at all.
Yeah.
The two of you, down the stairs, now.
Okay, but what are you getting out of this? Just tell me.
What do I get out of this? Three of the Forerunners. One of the many thorns in the side of my great lord. And one of the silent shields. Another problem. I will be handsomely rewarded. Because as I said to her, Lila is not dumb. She would not have come here without a means for escape. So like I said, down the stairs or she dies.
I mean, Twig will start again, not breaking any eye contact on Lilo.
Okay, Yuri's gonna try and kind of notion for Blossom to start walking down the stairs.
Okay.
And go behind her. How close is Cassius gonna follow?
He is going to be about 15 feet behind the three of you, holding the wand to Lila's head.
Okay, how... If I really play it up, can I get Blossom to, like, really slow down how she walks down these stairs if she's really injured?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Shit. I'm trying to get him to get closer. If he's, like, still keeping his distance, Yuri's gonna kind of look over her shoulder as if she's really exasperated and be like, Jesus Christ, we're all beat up as fuck. We're all hurting. Okay? We're just trying to move, alright? And, like, try to be helping Blossom.
Mm-hmm. You can see Cassius look to Blossom and say, if she will hinder our movement, we will leave her here, dead. Please have your friend pick up the pace.
If Yuri makes any eye contact with Lila, she would just kind of do like a slight like nod. Like, just go.
Okay. I guess they'll move a little faster.
Okay. All right. So with that, the four of you now follow the instructions of Cassius, one of the Forsaken, as he leads you to wherever him and Mezin Kelnos are supposed to meet. And with that, we'll go ahead and cut back to Nalfian, Yorick, Emeriel, and Ephron. As the four of you are walking, you've been walking for about an hour in silence, as Emeriel eventually says as you're walking, so, I know you said, Nalfian, you are not a magic person, and I understand that. But is there any way, perhaps, that any one of you can inform me just a little bit more as to what exactly the plan is? You have this suppressor, this anti-magic device. And you came here with a ship, I presume.
Yeah, that's gone now.
I mean, I
Upon-
think we were thinking about hoping you would also have a way out, just in case things went south.
No, I do, and I just want to... So this device, it is using the same magic as an anti-magic field, like a beholder, then?
That's correct, right? Go.
Yeah, generally. You guys
Yeah, more
haven't
or
said
less.
specifically the Arcanum Suppressor yet, but...
Well, that's the idea.
All right, I understand that. 2 negatives make a positive. Very well. All right. And this device is currently not in your possession. Who has it, as far as you know?
Our buddy Zevran, younger elven man.
A mage?
Yeah. Hearthcrest area.
That's good, at least. All right. All right. Who else is with you? I'm assuming that the other Forerunners are. Lila, Eurydice, Twig.
Well, let's see. You've met Ephron, Zevran, Lila's younger sister Belle's here. There's Danny and Tiberius, and then there's an oracle. What was her name again?
Nalfian Frogs.
Her name is just
Alright.
the Oracle, right? I don't think she had a name.
Did
I
she
don't think
not
she-
have a name?
I don't think she gave one to you guys.
All right. Yeah, we have an oracle, and then 3 members of the Hidden Flame. Rice. I don't remember the other 2 names. I don't talk to them that much.
Kaylin and Phelan, but yeah.
Yeah, those guys.
Rice. Oh, Rice? A Hidden Flame member by the name of Rice.
Yeah, RHYS.
Wow, that is surprising.
We found them trapped out in the astral sea, just some kind of frozen ship. And it was strange. They've been frozen for quite some time, but we're starting to get their bearings, and then of course we get them sucked into this. But they're around here somewhere.
That's good, at least. That they're here. That is a very, very, very good thing. All right. Okay. Anyone else?
Am I forgetting anyone?
I don't know. I can't think of anybody else. We said Blossom, right?
Oh, Blossom. I think that was the one I missed. Yeah, Blossom.
That's everyone that came with us on the ship. And again, like I said, 3 or 4 Banshee, and some large demonic creature.
Could you describe the creature for me? Anything you can
Nothing
remember
this
about
doesn't know Legacy, right? We've never
No.
We have.
No.
Okay, yeah, figured. Yeah, so Nelfin will just describe exactly what he saw.
That's very interesting. I
No, interesting,
believe, yes, that as well. But I believe that is one of the Dark One's thralls. Their name is Issen. In fact, they had become quite the problem for your across the continent companions, the Runaways. If they were in the realm of shadow, though, that means that they had died, but I guess not for long. Well, that's not great, but... So as far as we know, there are 2 Bonshin, Mezenkelnos, Cassius, and Isin.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5. Versus 3 members of the Hidden Flame, the 4 of us, 7. This Oracle, 8. The other 3 members of your party, 11. Silent Shield, 12. And these other 2 individuals, the mage from the college and Lila's younger sister, for 14.
It's Danny and Tiberius too, if we missed those.
Danny and Tiberius, are these
They're knights in training.
knights? So martial
training.
users
In training.
so squires.
Very much. So.
Do they know how to use a weapon though?
Yes, their bodies are their weapons. They're very capable.
Oh right.
They're capable.
I trust you. I trust you. Okay, that is 16 versus 5.
Right, 5 who have access to magic.
Well, at least the Forsaken do. We don't know about the Bonshin or Isin, right?
Correct. I wouldn't know about the Bonshin, but still, I mean, Nalthian, you were trained by the same individuals that they were. You know, still deadly
They're
fighters.
still exactly. That's the problem.
But this anti-magic field, should any of your companions be able to be within it, their magical abilities will be returned to them, right?
That's the theory.
All right.
It's just the person wielding this device, it does take a toll on them. I believe Lila has worked out a way for it to temporarily suspend that, but when we use it, we don't have a crazy amount of time. That being said, I don't think we have much time to do what we need to get done anyway.
No,
That's the reality
we
of the
don't.
situation.
All right. Okay. That makes sense. And we have good odds here, all right? Even if things seem dire now, I know where they are. I know where they'll be, where they'll take the Bonshin and Isin, and if they find any of your companions, where they'll take them as well. I have very much avoided the place for that specific reason.
Does he, like, seem very genuine the entire time he's talking?
Yeah, make an
Like,
insight check.
Okay. He's asking a lot of questions, but, like, I don't want to... Of course he is. He's been trapped here for a long time, so I just want to make sure...
Yeah, for sure. No, it's a very good thing to try and do.
Flat 16.
16? As far as you can tell, he's being genuine. He's been away from people for a long time, but you can see the strategy and the idea starting to come together as he's reacclimating to no longer running, but trying to also be on the offensive.
Right.
All right. Okay, all right. You two obviously are very, very, very close range fighters. That much is true.
Correct.
I think that what is best is if, in that situation, if each one of you try and tackle one of the Forsaken. I know that sounds like a lot, but their magic is severely limited as long as they're not within that sphere. I think both of you could easily overpower each one of them. Then, potentially, your spellcaster companions, they could try and subdue Isin and the Bonshin, and then, as quick as I can, I'll get in there. All of us will convene, and I'll teleport us out of there.
It sounds easier said than done.
If we're holding on to the 2 Forsaken, are you going to teleport them out as well?
No, that's not the preference, but I think
Rather
that...
you didn't.
Believe me, I would rather I didn't either. I've spent the past who knows how long running from them. I'd like to leave them locked behind here. So, here's what I propose. The two of you distract them, try and pull them away, get them out of that magical sphere so that way they can't use their abilities. And then as soon as you have done as much as you can, come towards the magic. I can't think of a better idea than that, but our biggest threat is them. If they get in that sphere...
Right.
Yeah.
We understand. I
Alright.
will say, Cassius, if he finds Lila, there's going to be a bigger issue of trying to get him separated from her.
How do you
Just
mean?
throwing that out there.
Because she was his student at one time?
Yes, and Lila's going to try to make an attempt to bring him back to the light.
That's very noble of her.
We're not going to stop her from doing it.
No, of course. No. All right.
You don't think it could be done?
Anything's possible, I suppose, but, having been stuck in this hellish void with him and Mezin for some time now, I do not have high hopes.
Right. Well, I just wanted to throw that out there, because that could throw a wrench in things. And we're not leaving without Lila.
You're right, it could. Very well. Fine. We will hope that it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right.
And
Well,
also, if you could tell us anything you know about Melon Kelnos, I feel like we don't... He's one of the few Forsaken that we don't know anything about. What are we going in there to expect?
Well, Mezin Kelnos is at his most strongest when they are around constructs. Their magic is connected directly to Mechanus. They are precise and exact. Something that they have done before, and I'm sure will continue to do, is create and conjure constructs. Mechanical soldiers to fight on their behalf. Powered by the Dark One's magic, they are incredibly formidable. All of you avoided the brunt of the damage with the Centurions that were in the Dowie tomb. But other than that, they are a sorcerer. Same as me. So you can expect them to have an ability to augment their spells. But by far the thing you have to be most careful of is the constructs they summon. They can be soul trappers. These constructs will kill humanoids. They will store their souls within the mechanical, the arcane nature of the mechanical form, and will use it to empower strikes, to deliver devastating blows, and, well, when a soul is consumed by one of those Centurions, there is no way on getting it back. Now, they have not been able to conjure any or create any in this place, so I think we are fine, provided we keep Mezin away from the arcane device.
Great.
Alright. We got a rough plan. We just gotta head there, because for all we know, none of our guys are even there, and we're gonna have to keep looking for them.
And I assume we were walking while you were saying
Oh,
that,
yeah,
right?
of course, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. All right. And Emerald will nod. And the four
As-
of you, yeah.
As that happens, like, Nalf's gonna just kind of like slow his steps so Emeril and like maybe, Efren is up there with him, and just kind of like lean back to talk to Yorick. What are you thinking?
How well do you know this guy? This is all in whispers, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
of
sure.
course. Yeah.
Nah, hey yo, what do
Throwing
you
it
think
out
about
there.
this fucker? No, yeah.
Hey, yo.
I mean, that's the funny thing, right? We know a lot of him. We've met him a few times. We've met a really shitty version of him once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
Nalvin just kind of shrugs.
Do you know anything about him that would explain why he looks like a dead god?
Kind of raises an eyebrow. A dead god. And I've heard a lot of things, but that's a new one.
Remember the City of Corpses? I had a conversation with one Azrio. Looked incredibly similar to your friend here. And by incredibly similar, I think you know exactly what I mean.
Nalvin's eyes just kind of like furrowed look towards Emerald. Really?
Yeah, really?
Fuck, I don't know. I just listen. I don't mess with anything with the gods because, well, but I've never heard of anybody. I mean, I know that he has connections with like the Hidden Flame. Does that? And I don't know much about your god Azrio. I don't know anything about that.
Not mine. Not my god.
Apologies. That's only what you've told me, which isn't much.
Look, I'm just saying, keep an eye on this guy. Something ain't right.
Well, there's two of them floating around, which, is never a good sign. But yeah,
Maybe more.
I hope the fuck not.
No. Let's focus on getting out of here. The rest can wait.
And Alfie will nod.
And we go.
Okay.
Going.
Alrighty.
Wonder Bros, activate.
So with that, the four of you continue to march towards the location as to where you believe, or where Emerald believes, this will happen. As we cut back to the other four and Cassius, you've been walking now for several hours. Lila, the wand still pointed at your head as the three march in front of you. As you do, Cassius begins to speak. As he says,
How did you learn about Aegon?
First, I found the locket, and then I reached out to my god to see if he could tell me anything more about this picture. Got a little bit of information, but not a name. And then you told me the rest. In the Mausoleum of Souls, like I said.
In the Mausoleum of Souls.
Yes, and I believe you all, the Forsaken, are quite familiar with it. So you know how it works. Or is that something the Dark Ones kept from you?
Any knowledge we wish to have, we may. I'm very familiar with the Mausoleum of Souls.
So you know that who I was speaking to was real, right?
He doesn't respond. So,
It was a great conversation, is all she'll say.
alrighty. So with that, you all continue walking until eventually there is no more path in front of you that is traversable. As you see, there is a group of individuals that sit in your way. You can see a large, spine-backed creature, beady, glowing red eyes looming over a group of individuals. You can see Rice, Kalen, Phelan, the Oracle, Zevran, and Bell sitting unconscious, looking around. You can see Rice currently carries an unconscious Danny, and Kalen and Phelan together, they hold up an unconscious Tiberius. You can see small rises and falls of the chest. But as you approach, you also see two Bon Sheen as well as Mesenkelnos gathering around them. As you approach, Lila, you hear Cassius speak from behind you.
Are you familiar with the Festival of the Green Lady in Takia?
I am.
There was a knight, Sir Arthur. He won the tourney without ever being there. It was given to him posthumously. It is said that his last words were, "It is every man's right to choose when to sheathe the sword."
And he will continue to walk forward as all of you approach. You can see Issen and...
Does anyone but Lila hear that? Sorry.
It's only Lila.
Okay.
Yeah. You can see the four of you approach. The Bon Sheen grin with delight as Mesenkelnos looks towards the group that arrives. As he speaks. So, Cassius, you return with quite the delightful treat. Not only do you bring the Forerunners, but a member of the Silent Shields as well. How delightful.
I believe, actually, this one here,
as he points to Belle.
she was so incredibly rambunctious. She claimed time and time again how her sister and her friends would come and save her. Well, young one, where is that fire now? Extinguished.
As you can see, Belle says nothing. She just sort of sits there.
So, I will tell all of you what is going to happen next.
As that point, Yorick, Emeriel, and Ephron, you begin to hear this same conversation. As just for a visual aid, I am going to give you, I'm going to move you to a battle map.
Visual aid.
Are we seen?
Shoot.
Are we seen?
You are not seen, no.
Hell yeah, bro. You
Okay.
got this, bro. Wonder Bros, let's do this shit.
Yeah.
Careful, you dicks.
Hey, what our middle names is Wonder Careful Bros, okay?
Yeah, we didn't get caught. We were plenty careful.
You got
Alrighty.
Okay.
Hey, got him.
Alrighty.
You not
So-
got him, you got Imro, we got fucking Cassius.
Yeah, you got the easy
Because we were
part, you know?
careful. Yeah.
Oh,
Shouldn't have gone to the
Okay.
building.
We're the ones who are gonna die, York. It's alright.
Probably.
Alrighty. So as all of you approach, you begin to hear the rest of the conversation as it unfolds.
So here is what is going to happen. I know why all of you came here. Cassius and I both do. You came here to save Emeriel. Being the ever-prepared adventurers you are, we both know you would not have come here without some type of device to aid you. Now, your companions here have done a very good job of being quiet and not speaking. However, it is very clear to me that I think you need some inspiration to speak. Is that right? I think it is. You. Bring me whichever one you choose.
As he looks to the bond sheen. You can see the bond sheen sort of looks down and looks towards Belle. You can see he grabs Belle's arm and yanks her up.
Lila's going to, as soon as that happens, since Cassius did say that one thing, she's going to whip to him and say, "Choose now."
You can see Cassius doesn't react at all as Belle is thrown to the ground.
No, we did bring one. Okay, we do have one. Stop.
As you can see, Mezin says,
Well, that is great.
but there are these plates of like porcelain that begin to disconnect and hiss around his arm as this crackling green and black energy forms around it as he points down towards Belle.
No, Yuri's gonna run over
So-
towards Belle. Stop.
As-
No, we do.
As you start to run over, immediately the hand moves towards you as the pointer finger pointed towards you, the crackling energy. He says,
If you take another step,
and he looks past you and sees Blossom.
your friend looks very sickly. I would hate for something to happen to her. You tell me,
where it is. So as that happens, in that time, that may be 20, 30 seconds, Yorick, Nalfian, Ephron, Emeriel, are the four of you trying to move anywhere?
Yes. What do you got? What do you got, Ryan?
I mean, kind of remembering Imral's plan, Yorick wants to head over to the right, kind of, because, like, this is like an elevated cliff that we're on, right? Like, we're kind of looking down, seeing all this. I mean, Yorick would kind of point to himself in motion over here, trying to, you know, Assassin's Creed style, get on the cliff above Finch.
Okay.
Okay.
No stealth check necessary. There's a lot going on right now, so you can move there.
But we heard this, right?
You heard that, yeah.
Okay, before York goes, an officer will be like, you trust me?
Always. With my life.
Okay, now it's gonna move up here.
And by the way, sorry, real quick, Joe, I messaged you a question. Could you answer that real quick?
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're all good. You were in the middle of a monologue, but it's kind of an important question.
Okay, oh, this is probably dumb, but like, Nalf's gonna do it to take the heat off everybody else. He's gonna stand up. Hey, I have it.
You can see Mezen, let's see, we'll say Emeriel moved over here, and Ephron is going to be up here, lying down, ready to take shots. Well, he'll be behind this tree. So Ephron is prone like rifle, and he, Nalfian, you don't hear him say this, but he goes, what the fuck is he thinking? Oh, shit.
What the fuck is he thinking?
There we go. I think somebody will use their suppressor,
Okay.
but I don't know.
So, with that, Mezen immediately
I mean, that one's mine.
looks
That
up
is.
towards you and says, well. Nalfian Bainia.
It's an Alfian Forester, thank you.
Once a Bainia, always a Bainia.
Yeah, and once an asshole, always an asshole.
Got him.
As you can see, Mezen starts to move up towards you, Nalfian, as the Bansheen moves back over to Bell. And you can see the Bansheen get closer to the group, as well as Issen move closer to the group. So, you have the suppressor then? This. Then give it to me.
I don't think it's gonna work that easy. Well, I think in order for me to hand it over, you need to cut us a deal first.
Amuse me, what are your terms?
Screaming inside, somebody do something. Okay.
Hey man, you got your heat.
Living it. Hey, taking it off of y'all, okay?
Is there enough like attention on Nalfian that Yuri can start walking slowly closer towards like Bell, and they wouldn't like immediately be like, "No, we're gonna shoot you."
You could probably move 10 feet, but by that point, one of the Bansheen will move in front of Bell. So I'll move you 10 feet.
That's right.
I know Lila's kind of far from Zevran, but like, oops, I wanted to get a measurement, not drag her. What's Zevran looking like? He's up, right? He's okay?
Yeah, he's conscious, but he's currently, Issen is like looming over him.
Right. Because he's probably thinking that he needs to get back away from everybody in order to do
Yeah,
something.
'cause
maybe if we can cause a distraction.
What I will do is let me make an aura around Zevran, just so you guys can have an idea. I'm gonna make an aura of we'll say
Is he conscious? Is Everett conscious right now?
yeah, he is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an
Jared, by
aura.
the way, we don't know that is Issen, do we? We just know it's a thing.
Correct. Yeah, you just know it's
I mean,
a thing.
Nalfian and York
Yeah.
now.
So this aura, actually, it's larger than that. It's pretty big. When he activates it, it is a 50-foot aura around him. When he activates it, that is the aura of people that now have their magical abilities to them. So that
Yo,
will
that's
include
just-
Nalfian. Nalfian, you're right on the edge, so you'll be able to summon your Echo. Mezin Kelnos, the two Bansheen, Isin, who does have spellcasting, and Eurydice.
It's still scary.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to get.
So we need big
Zephyrin
distraction.
away.
I have an idea. It's a really awful one, but I do have one.
There's no good ideas, I think, right now. So.
Okay. If I throw my spirit Isin, is that gonna help us if it moves away from Zephyrin and then he can run?
Bro, what?
Because
I
if he
mean,
can get
there's
around.
He's also got the Bansheen on him.
Yes, but at least there's Rice there
I,
and like Bell and stuff.
Yeah.
There's no good ideas here, fam.
I
I don't know.
might-
I don't know if that one's gonna help. I think that one might make
I don't know.
angry.
yeah.
But then we need some kind of coordinated let's all throw shit.
Well, we can't coordinate. We're
Yep.
very far apart
No.
from each other, and
Yeah.
we don't even know where the fuck half each other are.
I'm gonna make a play.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay.
All right, Eurydice,
So
you
no-
grip onto your spear. You have that idea in mind, but we cut to Yorick. As Nalfian,
Alright.
you start to talk this bullshit offer.
That's what I do, baby.
Yep.
Just quick justification, because knowing how the suppressor works and kind of knowing that, at the very least, roughly who would get affected, York's like, we need to pull them away. I mean, he's gonna make the jump and just try to land and tackle Cassius to, you know, try to draw some attention and get something to happen, hoping that if something starts, at the very least, things are gonna change, because we're in too much of a standoff right now.
Okay. Alrighty. So Yorick, you do just that. You will jump from the ledge and move towards Cassius. As you do, I'd like you to make an athletics check.
Athletics has not been my friend this session. You know what? No. Joe,
Yeah?
I recently beat you in a video, and you told me I could pick a roll to
Yeah.
make a natural 20. I'm cashing in.
All right. All right. So be it. You use it.
Stay tuned for that video, by
That
the
is
way.
it.
Spoiler alert.
Alrighty. Well, that is your one use then,
That's
homie.
my use.
Alrighty.
I think this is a pretty good one. Because if I
Nice.
rolled a 1, I would die.
I
IRL.
mean, if that's what's happening, Nalfian and Yorick and Emriel had a plan. Nalf's gonna basically, I mean, if he's going, I guess Nalf should go, right? Like that's
Yeah.
I mean,
that
if you
seems
tackle-
logical.
If you tackle Mesnin, he's still going to be in the thing if Zevran activates it.
Great. Nalfian is gonna be like, yeah, man, let's talk. And then at the last second, just start rushing him, and he's also gonna shout now. I don't know who, but he's just gonna say it.
Okay. Alrighty.
There, let's go.
I
So,
like this music.
Yorick,
I
as
made
you
a bad decision.
jump and tackle Cassius, you can see Cassius was just pulling out the wand, not towards Lila, but towards Mezin. And as you jump and tackle
Oh, no.
into him, as you tackle, you do succeed. You pin him to the ground, but as the magic discharges, you can see it fly out of the wand, slamming into Lila instead, as the trajectory of the magic is changed. So Lila,
Oh God,
you will take
Oh fuck.
bring it on. How much?
I need to find my D12s.
That's bad.
No.
Multiple D12s?
Felicity, I'm so sorry.
All good, dog. Let's go.
Let's see if you're still alive, then you
Bring
can
it
decide if
on.
it's all good.
Okay. Lila, you will take 22 points of necrotic damage. As the bolt slams into your chest, Lila, you are pushed back 10 feet. As you sort of slam into the rock, tripping on one of it, falling down to the ground. Luckily, you tackle into him and pin him to the ground. You are much stronger than him, Yorick. There's no way for him to escape. As to your vision, it looks as though he just did that to Lila. As you
He's gonna,
tackle,
like, Kratos grab.
Did
Yeah.
Apple and, like,
Lila
pointed
tell
to
that was
Baldur.
not at Lila originally?
you did say you turned around. So you can see the wand was away from you, pointed, but from Yorick's perspective, because of perspective,
Right, I just wanted
Lila's
to know
smart
if
enough to
Lila
know
saw
that,
that.
yeah, Lila saw that it was not at her, but can understand why Yorick did what he did. Both of
Okay.
those realities coexist, okay? So, that happens. You get knocked down. We'll come back to you in a second. Nalfian, you charge?
Yeah.
Okay, you charge.
But, like,
Ephron,
I'm saying, like, he's talking like, yeah, let's cut a deal. Walking up as if they're gonna shake hands and shit, and then at the last second, he's gonna rush.
okay, all right. Last second you rush as you, because you said you shout now, right? Or was that Yorick?
I do.
You
No, I
shout now. Okay. So as you shout now, there are 2 shots that fly past your ear from Ephron as he's going to shoot Mezen. That's a hit. That is... Yeah, that's a hit.
Sets up some pressure as well, but I mean, I don't know if he's gonna get that. That's what that is, but that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we need to make
So
sure
that's
at
gonna
least
be-
Kalnos is not in that.
12
Radius.
points of damage to Mezen.
Oh, I see. Okay. I got you.
oh, wait.
Damn.
12 and then another 12. So 24 points of damage. That's not what I wanted. Why is it doing that? Get out of here. What the heck? Okay. There we go. Had to put it on repeat. Okay, so with that, 2 shots fired. As they ring down, they slam into the chest of Mezen as he immediately is taken aback. Nalfian, as you charge into him, what are you doing? Are you attacking him? Are you grappling him, trying to pull him away?
Fuck, there's not a really good way to do that, but yeah, Nalfian. Yeah, he's not super strong, so it's more of like a kind of like just trying to use his body weight to just hold him, I guess.
Okay.
This guy doesn't look very strong either, so I mean, he's a sorcerer, so
Yeah, okay. Not very strong. Not very strong indeed. So, Nalfian, you grapple into him. Go ahead and make an athletics check as you attempt to grapple into him. That's not very good for him.
That's not very good for Nalfian. He's not athletic.
Okay. Nalfian, you still beat him just barely as you sort of grapple into him and sort of pull him into that rock and slam him into it, disorienting him for a little bit. He's already bleeding. You slam his head into the rock, and you try your best to grapple him. You kind of get him in this like full Nelson maneuver, but Nalfian, strength is not your strong suit, for lack of a better phrase. So you have him grappled, but it's going to be a contested thing.
Can I try to, okay, instead of trying to grapple him, can I try to like use, so you know what a sling blade is in like wrestling? How you basically hook your arm in like the crevice of your elbow pit around their neck, and you're trying to fling them to the other side? So I can like fling him behind me, like trying to push him back, and I'm gonna try to like push him behind this rock.
Okay. Okay.
I'll roll something else if you wish.
Okay. I had to look up. Your description was good, but I wanted for the full visual aid. I looked up a GIF of what a sling blade is. Okay, so in an effort to get him out of the area where the void would be, right?
But like, I don't want to be meta because I wouldn't know that. I would just try to use my body weight to fling him back here, because in theory, Nalfian's just gonna bash his head against this rock.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I would say it's not meta. I would say Ephron explained generally what his guesstimate was for the aura. So you knowing how far it would be, not that big of a deal. You know, getting him away from Ephron is good anyway.
Too gamey.
Yeah, no, you're good. So I'll say, yeah, you can sling him back, and we'll say you can sling him back that far, but you're no longer grappling him.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So you move closer after slinging him outside of the range. Okay. So then, as you sling him out, it is then Mezen, and you can see him sort of look to you, and then say, "You've just made a very big mistake." As he doesn't point at you. Immediately, his head flicks towards Blossom, and a bolt of crackling black energy shoots out of his hand towards Blossom.
Can I dive in front of that?
You probably dove at him, mate.
Make a... I'll give him a chance. All right.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
No.
I've asked a lot from this.
No.
So...
It's loosey-goosey anyway. Go ahead and make a dexterity check to see if you're faster than Mezen in this moment. Okay.
If not, that's okay. I have been asking a lot.
No, you're good. You're good. So with a 15, as you dodge in front, you are able to move faster. I rolled a charisma check for him because that's a spellcasting modifier. He rolled a natural 1. 15, you are faster than him in that moment as you did just slam his head up against a rock. So he's a little disoriented. He flings his hand. You dive in front of it. So Nalfian, you instead will take that damage. 21 plus... You take 28 points of necrotic damage, Nalfian.
Okay.
This necrotic energy slams against your chest as you immediately fall to the ground prone, having to sort of scratch at your chest and throat, having to catch your breath, almost your nails digging into your skin quite a bit as you feel yourself begin to suffocate, but then eventually the air begins to fill back into your lungs. So that's him. That's Cassius. For the rest of you, Twig, Eurydice?
Yuri's
Yeah.
immediately running at that barn machine in front of Belle. That's like her plan.
Okay. You run at the Bansheen, Eurydice, with the spear.
I got a spear, fam. Yeah.
All right, go ahead and roll for an attack. This will be with your strength modifier.
I know, it's not very good. Oh, that was a natural one. It's fine.
As you run at him and try and thrust the spear, immediately a sidestep and then 2 quick slashes towards you.
Yeah, that checks out.
For some reason, their character sheet is still broken. God, I love Foundry.
As she's doing it, Yuri is telling everybody else to fucking run. She's looking at Zebra, she's looking at Belle, she's like, guys, go.
Okay, well, that is a 9 to hit on the first one. So that's definitely going to be a miss. And then that is a 25 on the second one.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, the strike, you're able to dodge out of the one, but you are not a close combatant. Your footwork is better just from having to dodge when attacks do come close to you, but that sort of secondary dodge is not your forte. As the sword comes clashing down towards you, you take 19 points of damage.
Okay, as it happens, Yuri's like, Belle, go to Lila now.
Okay. You can see Belle will take that advice as she will begin to run. The Bansheen will make an attack of opportunity against her. That is a 22 to hit, which hits. Do you remember how many hit points she had beforehand? When I updated Foundry, it redid all their hit points.
I think it was around the 30s. I think it was like 32. I don't remember though.
Okay.
I didn't.
Sorry, they're not dead.
Trouble's now dead.
Yeah. They're just unconscious, sorry. So it's 30, we'll say 35. And then Ryan, do you remember what Zevran was?
Hang on, let me check his. Where's his sheet? Oh, sorry.
Well, when I updated Foundry, it redid the hit point value.
Well,
so
I remembered roughly what it was. It was like just barely above 40, like 41 or 42. Because I remember he was bloodied, but he wasn't like that far into it. Because then he basically became invisible, and people pretty much ignored him after that.
Got him. So we'll say 45, just for roundup.
Okay.
Okay. So Belle will take that damage. She'll take 18 points of damage. I'm gonna go ahead and subtract that from her. So Belle is now badly injured. And she will be able to get right up to Lila. As Lila, you're just kind of like barely on the ground, just getting your bearing. Twig, what do you want to do?
Okay, because we need to get Zevran away from all the bad shit, which is mainly north of him. Her plan is to basically, oh fuck, there's no ruler there, that's awkward for me. She wants to basically move south, still staying away from things, and to hopefully get a little bit more heat off people, wants to take shots at the Bansheen that's down here to hopefully like allow for a little bit of a, escape south, away from where there would be magical peoples for the sake of the suppressor.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I believe she'd still get her, 3 shots for that first thing, because I don't think that's magical at all.
Yeah, no, that's just...
Oh.
Yeah.
These will just be one less than they should be because it's a possible weapon. 3 damage. That roll 3? Was it 2? That's 3.
There's the
Okay.
third.
The second 2 hit right against the Banshee.
Yeah.
Okay, the second 2 hit, the first one misses.
Bop, bop. And it would also be an extra d8 from Dread Ambush shit.
Okay. So 21 plus 6, 27.
27 total.
Okay. 27 total. So yeah, you can see as the 2 bolts slam into the chest of the Banshee, you can see they reel as they sort of break the bolts away. As this Banshee, I guess Danny and Trouble are closer to here because they're right next to the hidden flame. Yeah, I think what he's going to do is, instead of slashing at one of the prisoners, I think he's going to end up reaching down towards Zevran. And he's going to grab Zevran and pull him up and use him as a human shield. And just for good measure, as he goes and grapples him, Zevran, not having any magical abilities at all in this moment, that's his strengths. He is going to immediately, just to show he means business, he's going to make 2 lashes across Zevran's chest as he's grappling onto him. One, 2. Okay, that's a 22 and a 25, so both of those hit. So that is going to be 15 points of damage on the first one, which I'll subtract, and then 23 points of damage on the second one. You can see immediately as the blade cuts into Zevran, you can see Zevran immediately is just drained of most of his vitality as he's breathing heavy. You can see him sort of reaching down beside himself into his pockets as he's reaching into his bag for the Arcanum Suppressor. Let's see. Lila, as we come to you, is there anything else that you want to do? You just fallen over. You were a little bit disoriented, but you're back in it now.
She will yell to Yorick, who still has Cassius pinned, and she'll say, "Yorick, stop!" and see if she can get his attention. Does his attention break at all?
His grip doesn't, but he'll look at you.
Yeah. She'll say, maybe if she can step a little closer so that she doesn't have to scream it, so that Mezin doesn't hear. Ooh, okay, fine. Yeah. She's going to say, "He wasn't aiming at me, he was aiming at Mezin Kalnos. I promise." I don't know if Cassius responds to that at all.
Yeah, Cassius, he would say in this moment, he wasn't thinking that he would have to do this. He just says, "I was."
Do I believe Cassius?
Make an insight check. Now, this insight check is also to see if you can overcome your own biases.
Yep.
Yep.
Because I believe Lila believes that, but...
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Okay, with a dirty 20, even past your own bias, you believe that Lila believes him, and it goes against every instinct you have, but you believe he's telling the truth.
Okay.
She's going to then, yeah, because she needs to get back into this range so she can do stuff. Seeing that Yorick maybe loosens his grip a little bit, she's going to quickly just like grab his shoulder and be like, thank you, and then start to run back, I think, because that was like about 15 feet that
Yeah.
she just moved, so 15 feet back, and trying to get then and talk to Bella and say that they need to get in this aura, which they're like a step away from. So that would be
Okay.
my turn.
Okay. All right, cool. You can see, Lila, as you do that, Blossom will be moving, and she is a shield through and through, and Eurydice is getting pummeled right now, so she is going to move up towards Eurydice, and she is going to make 2 attacks against the Bansheen in an attempt to take some of its pressure. That is a 19 to hit, 19 points of damage. Oh wait, no, it's not 19 points of damage because there's no, and that's a 23 to hit because the no poison damage. So that is 10 points and 5 points, so 15 points total. Slashes into it twice. The Bansheen is also looking very rough. Okay. As you do that, as we come to, I think, Rice, Kalen, and Phelan, all of their things rely on magic to a degree, being the Arcane Archer, and the Artificer, and the Sorcerer, the Spellcaster. You can see what they try and do is the 3 of them just try and overwhelm the Bansheen. As all 3 of them just sort of like grip onto them and try and yank them off Zevran, grabbing the arm, trying to stabilize the blade before he can make any more attacks against Zevran. Danny in trouble. Their bodies just sort of crumple off to the side as both of them are still unconscious. The Oracle is not a fighter. And as we get to this point where the only 3 people that have not done anything so far are Zevran, Issen, and Emeriel. Emeriel is going to move past the tree and is going to run into this area. I think that's about 30 feet right there. And they are going to oh yeah. What would work here? 53, 20, 30. Okay. He's going to move in and he's going to say to Zevran, Zevran, turn it on, do it. And Zevran sort of looks behind him. You all had given him a description of Emeriel before, so he is going to reach in to the bag. He's going to pull it out, and for his turn, Zevran is going to activate the Arcanum Suppressor. And immediately there is this vibrant aura that emanates from within as you hear Zevran begin to yell out in pain as he had no time to drink the potion first as he activates the Arcanum Suppressor. As soon as he does, as soon as Blossom and Eurydice begin to feel that magic surge through them, you can see the Bansheen just barely begin to duplicate and try to echo themselves. Emeriel, in that moment, is going to use a 9th level spell slot, and he is going to cast Time Stop. However, Time Stop is only active in the sphere in which the anti-magic is happening. So he is going to go ahead and cast Time Stop. I'll throw that in the chat. Oh, there's no text. That's awesome. Okay. So pretty much 1d4 plus 1 turns. So that's 4 turns. In this moment, everybody is going to be immovable except for him. He is going to move towards Zevran, and he is going to grab hold of the Arcanum Suppressor. Actually, no, he's not going to do that. He will move here, and to those of you that are outside, he will say, all of you need to come in here now. As soon as all of you are close, we'll get out of here. We all need to link hands first, though. And you can see Mezin, Nalfian, sort of look up and look to you, Nalfian, and say, very good plan. I hope it works out for you. As with that, we come back up to the... Oh, wait a second, Issen.
But
Time
his
stop,
time
though.
stopped.
Oh, that's right. He's time stopped. Yeah. Okay. Woo! Ooh. I got nervous there for a second. Okay. So, with that, we'll go ahead and come up to Yorick first. Since Yorick, you made the first move. You dived on top of him. Are you letting go?
Yes.
Okay. As you let go, you can see he looks to you and nods and says, thank you. And he will stand. And as he begins to move, you can see as he moves past Bell, he stops and he looks to you, Lila, and nods, and he will raise the wand up towards Mezin, and there is just this intense blast of necrotic energy that slams up towards Mezin that sort of blows him back a fair distance from Nalfian, further away from the void. And you can see Mezin sort of recoil and say, you dare disrespect our father? You dare betray everything he gave you? And you can see he looks to Lila and then looks back to Mezin and say, you only remember everything he gave you. But none of us have any memory of what he took away. And he's just going to continue to move forward. Nalfian, what do you want to do?
Seeing that he's pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, is that enough? Is that pushback enough? Like, can Nalfian take a second to feel like that's gonna be a comfortable space for him? I don't know.
I mean, he has a chance to run back in, but also Cassius is doing his best to stop him from entering.
All right. Nalfian then he's not gonna risk it. He's just gonna. It doesn't even look like Mezin Kildos is even looking at Nalfian anymore at this point, I would assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just gonna take the time to move in and down.
Okay, all right. As you move in, we'll say you move about like 15, 20 feet in, but then the effects of time stop start to work on you. As you're close, you are close enough to attempt to start to grab hands with everybody, but the time stop affects you in that moment. But
Right.
you are close enough that as soon as time stop ends, you're close enough to grab hands and get out of there.
Okay.
So,
Question.
yeah.
Even though I'm in this, can I still bring Echo Nalf out?
As you enter, yes, you can. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Is he affected by this time stop?
It's an interesting question. To keep things interesting, I'll say no.
Cool. That's cool.
Things interesting. I'll say no.
So Echo Nalf summons beside you. You can see you freeze in place, but he can move freely.
Great. I will keep that in mind in case something bad happens.
Okay.
But he's gonna like have Echo Nalf pretend to be frozen currently.
Okay, all right. Sounds good.
Yeah, fucking.
He pretends to be frozen. And you can see he does exactly what you want. Yorick, you had just let him go. What do you want to do?
I mean, we just gotta go, so I think York's just gonna dash 60 feet.
Okay, get to the Banshee.
Yeah. I mean, he'll probably try to get in the center for the sake of, linking hands with as many people as possible.
Okay.
Just
Alrighty.
push through.
Sounds good. So you get in, and then in that moment, as soon as you get to the center, time stop. Frozen. Okay. Then we have Twig. What do you want to do?
I mean, same dealio as everyone else, I feel. She just wants to get in, but I feel like she wants to, knowing that, you know, Lila just got blasted. I'm sure Belle's not, yeah, no, she's not doing well. And she's already on this side anyway. She wants to be able to get in and kind of like have her arm out towards where they are, just to make it hopefully easier for them.
Okay. Alrighty. Cool. So you reach your hand out towards them, hoping to make the process easier. That brings us to Lila and Belle.
Yeah, ASAP, she's gonna make sure Belle runs in right next to Twig.
Okay.
Or Eurydice and Twig right here-ish. I don't know why I can't move her. I can only make squares. That's not helpful. And I don't want to be the spicy one, but
Be spicy. I trust you.
So, because she doesn't know what if Finch is gonna try and get in this thing for the time stop thing. Sorry, I had a concept, but I think it might be bad. So,
What is it? Say it.
okay, so I had two ideas, okay? I had one idea where she would get in here and prepare to cast Balefire, so then after those 4 rounds of Cassius beating his ass, I can Balefire at the end. Or I thought about using my success on a roll for Divine Intervention. You know, the one that I won? Spice you want. Spice up your life.
That is spicy. I will say, whatever, if you choose to do that, just to be transparent with you, it will work, but keep in mind you are on the edge of reality. So whatever desire you wish to have happen will probably be reduced because the connection you have with Corellian is not as strong even within this magical sphere. It's not a connection to the planes that you know. It is magic in this plane that is unknown.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is I need to figure out what I'd ask. Like, I know I could do it. Could I do that with Divine Intervention, but could I ask Corellian to basically supernova Balefire Mezenkelnos, so it's like a very strong level?
As far as you know, Corellian is not connected
But enough
to
for
the
that.
power of Balefire.
Okay, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, shit. Sorry, y'all.
Can I chime in, Felicity?
Yeah, I love.
I mean, if we leave him behind, he doesn't need to die. Like, he can't get out. Like, leaving him here is just as good as killing him.
Well, the Dark Wind will probably move him around. Dark Wind.
Hasn't yet.
But that's true.
They've been
Okay.
stuck here for like 100 years.
Okay,
Tarquin hasn't
so-
done anything yet.
Scratch the Balefire thing. Lila would like to, with Divine Intervention, just since the thing is, we have to be holding hands, right?
Yeah.
Is there any way instead of to extend that reach, not like physically, but like make a connection between her and Cassius, so that when that spell goes off, he is connected to Lila? But she doesn't know if he's gonna get in here.
Like to connect with her.
You know
To-
what? Or let's do a grapple like who's that guy from Overwatch?
Lifeweaver.
Can I grapple that bitch and get him in here when the spell pops off?
Like when a plane shift happens?
Yes.
Okay, that would leave downtime between time stopping and you grabbing him and the spell happening.
Yes. I don't know if I understand what you said.
So you're asking, you want to pull him in?
No, I would like to have him continue to beat Mezenkelnos' ass until the last second.
Yeah, and then you wanted to pull him in.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to try and pull him in, there's going to be a little bit of downtime between the spell time stop ending and the spell being cast to teleport you guys out of here. So that leaves a little bit of air for something to happen if you decide to make that choice.
Okay.
So that gives, say, Mezenkelnos or Isin or the two Bansheen, that gives them an opportunity to act if you choose to try and grab Cassius to bring him with you.
Okay. Never mind.
Do it.
I would like... Sorry.
No, do it.
Y'all want a bunch of people with like single-digit hit points.
Yeah, no.
Someone will
If-
die if you do that.
Plus, just
piece
even
of
if
love.
even if just Zevran goes down, the
Yeah.
Arcanum Suppressor ends.
No. Okay. Scratch that. Divine Intervention request is now brief immunity for all my allies for that downtime period.
Okay.
Suzu else instead.
Okay. Okay.
Long support, my bad guys.
Alrighty. So you do that then. As you step within, you begin to channel that divine energy, and we'll say that over the course of several rounds, as all of you are time stopped as you sit within here, it's not very long, but Finch will continue to push Mezenkelnos back. I will say that Mezenkelnos is obviously fighting back, and will make his way down here as Finch makes his way here. So the two of them are very close to the field of magic, and eventually time stop ends, as all of you now have the ability to move. Now, Lila, as I said, Divine Intervention would have a reduced effect based off whatever you asked because of your connection, right, being weakened in this area. You can see around all of your allies, there is this slight shimmering astral glow that envelops them. As all of you, for the duration until you leave this place, have resistance to all types of damage. Every point of damage you take is halved, okay? As Divine Intervention happens, however, as time stop ends, as it takes all of you a moment to convene in a way where you can grip each other's hands, trying to make sure that all of the people that were with you can teleport away. So this would need to be this, and then she would need to be holding Trouble and Danny. Right, you would need to move around in a way, right, where all of you are interconnected. In that moment, as all of you are roaming around, the Bansheen have this brief moment to try and make these rapid slashes just towards whoever they can hit. To those of you that have either reawoken your magical abilities that are near the Bansheen, what are you doing? And Nalfian, you are right back towards Isin, and you can see Isin now frozen out of time, or out of frozen time, begins to reel around. These massive attacks become lunging towards you and the bodies of Danny and Trouble that are sitting right next to you. So Nalfian, my question to you is, what are you doing? And then for anybody else, I guess really just Yorick for the one right here, and then the Bansheen near Lila, Eurydice, and Blossom and Twig. What are you guys doing? So we'll start with Lila, Blossom, Twig, and Eurydice.
Okay, I have something that is a little bit funky, but I've got backup if not.
Okay.
Just because I feel like I never use it. Since there's just this resurgence of just magic coming back into shit, with her staff, said she can make it into a little barrier, but it takes several turns for it to actually, you know, manifest into being like full cover.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's a resurgence of all this magical energy, could it be like a thing where it just bursts through into the full cover for that just like, you know, one turn just to block the Banshee off from at least our corner of things?
We'll say that stops one attack. As the magic returns to you, it also returns to the Banshee, and you can see that cursed, vile nature of the blade. It stifles one of the attacks. As you conjure that bramblewood barrier, one of the attacks completely misses. It has to cut through that natural form. But there still is an additional attack. Lila, we'll say you're still in the process of focusing on the divine intervention. Eurydice?
I want to try and do something, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Shit. Okay, I have an idea. If I use sorcery points, I can change the distance on the spell.
Mm-hmm.
If I use a shit ton of sorcery points, because it says here I can make, like, you know, the distance of a touch range spell 30 feet, right?
Yeah.
And I can presumably use more points to make it bigger.
Yeah.
Could I use Dimension Door and grab Cassius and bring him to where we are? Like at the last second, and then like be holding his hand and hold Lila's.
Yeah.
Then that's what Yuri's gonna do. She's gonna kind of prime it up, and in the last second, she's gonna use Dimension Door to Dimension Door herself, like a place left, mentally grab Cassius and just yank him with her, and just
Okay.
tell him to grab Lila's hand as she grabs Blossom's.
Okay, and as you grab him, you teleport, you do just that. Cassius appears within the magical sphere, and yeah. Okay. Now, you used your one final thing to do that. Twig,
Yes.
you summon the bramble. The final blade is coming down, and it's coming down on Blossom.
But we can still, like, we still have hold of her even as she goes down, right?
Yeah?
Because, I mean, if we're holding each
think
other's
so, yeah.
hands, yeah, like, she doesn't need to be holding us back, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So that is going to be a 24 to hit, which will definitely hit her for 29 points of damage.
But halved.
Yep. 29. That's 16. She drops to 0. Let me double check one thing here. Okay.
We've got her. We're holding her. It's
You
okay,
can
we're
see
holding
that
her.
as the
Cure wounds her real quick.
as the Banshee blade hits her, as it slashes across, I need to make a Constitution saving throw for
Oh no.
for Blossom.
Don't do it, Joe.
Joe.
Okay. All right. So the blade hits her, it slashes across, and you can see that poison begin to move into her body. As she falls unconscious, she doesn't seem to resist it. Okay, that was that one's turn. Yorick, you can see this one, instead of slashing towards you, is attempting to stab into Zevran.
All right, and so I get to act first on this, right?
Yeah, you see the blade coming down. What do you want to do? There are
Bonus
2 attacks.
action. All right, bonus action. Going to use. I always forget the name. Is it borrowed experience? Yes, borrowed experience. So he's going to give himself advantage as he takes a swing at the Banshee. It never does
Okay.
it right. Okay, hang on. All right, 24.
24 hits. Yep.
All right, hang on, I'm gonna roll because I mean he's looking bad, right?
Yep.
All right, so hang on. Here is the slashing damage, but take away. Oh wait, hang on. From that one that hit, would a 22 hit because it's a +2 weapon? Oh no, we have magic. It
Yeah.
isn't just a roll. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was trying so hard to remember that. Then the one time I needed to remember it, didn't need to. Awesome. Okay, so damage. Reroll that. A little bit better. All right. So, wait, what?
Okay, 9.
Okay, and we're gonna drop a 3rd level smite onto that guy. Oh yeah. So 26 points of damage.
With that extra 17, before it can even make that final swipe down, Yorick, the bond sheen is dispelled through radiant magic as it is dead. You save Zevran's life there. He
And,
definitely would have died if you had not done that.
And Yorick put his second attack into Isin as well, since he has a range of 10 feet with his glaive.
Sure, yeah.
All right, cool. I got you, Nalfian.
Thanks, man.
Why'd I just roll damage? I'm dumb. Rolled a hit. Oh my god.
Hell
Okay.
Oh my god. Brother,
We're just gonna drop another 3rd level smite onto that. So hang on, I gotta do math real quick. So roll that. That's pretty good. Okay. So 15 plus us 10 is 25. Plus 24 is 49 plus this. 65 points of damage on Isin.
Ooh, spicy.
Nice. Okay. So, what'd you say, 64?
65.
65. Okay, sorry, I was one off. So 65, you slash into Isin. There is this burst of radiant energy from the creature. As it reels back, you can see immediately it just sort of flails from the attack. Nalfian, as you were getting ready to throw your weapons up, you can see that as it just thrashes around, you can see part of your sword, it knocks into it, and the sword kind of clatters to the ground a bit, disarming you for just a moment as the hit happens. You can see the creature's heavily wounded, and you can see as the sword drops down and clatters to the ground, you would have to sacrifice a fair bit of movement. Belle, seeing that, what she is going to do to prevent you from messing up your momentum, she is going to take the sword, Kaden's sword, and she is going to hand it off to you. In that one fluid motion, your sword is knocked down. She hands you the other one so you don't have to stop in that moment. As Yorick slams down into it with that blade, as you grip on to Blackfire, the Torch of the Covenant, you immediately, as you're carrying through with that swipe, Nalfian, you can feel this surge of arcane energy within you. So, as you can see Isin trying to make attacks towards you, towards the unconscious bodies of Danny and Trouble, towards the Hidden Flame, and maybe even reaching out towards Zevran, seeing the Arcanum Suppressor within his hands, wielding that sword, Nalfian, what do you want to do?
Nalfian is going to immediately do Pneumatic Stutter to give myself advantage.
Okay.
Actually,
So-
no, it only gives disadvantage. So I'll just give disadvantage to Isin, just in
Okay.
general.
So we'll say that it's something very strange happens as you're wielding this sword, that Dunamanic Stutter, which is typically just a stutter, right? Where the enemy sort of, their weapon slams down and then reverberates and then you can dodge. As you activate it while holding on to this sword, as Isin comes down towards you, slamming into you, something that definitely would have hit, could have knocked you unconscious. As you go to activate the Dunamanic Stutter, you can see Isin stops. All of your allies stop. You are the only one moving in time. You quickly step off to the side, and the attack follows through. Boom. slamming, completely missing you. Second attack now coming your way. What do you want to do?
I guess I have to just attack.
Okay. All right. So you try and be faster than Issen. You try and move past the attack and slam into him. Now, with the sword, you do have +3 to your attack with the sword.
Oh, wow, okay. Just me to roll a d20 and add 3.
And your dex and your proficiency.
Okay. Here's my proficiency at. Oh, 19, 20, 22.
22, that hits. As it hits, there is a blast of radiant energy. So on top of the 1d8 damage, go ahead and roll 4d8 radiant damage.
Oh shit, that's d6. 4d8?
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh shit, yeah, sorry.
It's like,
Oh god.
wait a second.
And an additional d8 from the damage die of the weapon.
Okay.
Okay, and your dex is +5?
Yes.
Okay, so 30 points of damage. Okay, 30 points of damage. You slam into Issen. The blade impales. There's this detonation of divine energy. As you do that, Issen is still standing, so this attack will land. This is going to be one of the mace attacks.
Do I still get 3 attacks?
Yeah, but these are happening succinctly, back and forth and back and forth.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Because I will also say Echo Now is also. I will use my last Unleash Incarnation, and I'll have Echo Now. I don't know if Echo Now can pick up my other sword and can just dual wield that way with my sword and his sword.
Yeah, he does. He picks it up. He goes on the attack with both swords, one ethereal, one physical. As he wields both of them, go ahead and roll Unleash Incarnation attack.
Okay.
Okay. 18 just hits. Go ahead and roll damage, and you'll add an extra d8 to this because he's wielding your sword as well.
That's funny. That's radiant as well.
All right, 19 points of damage. Close.
8.
Okay, minus an extra 6. Yeah, as he slams into him, you cut into him. You still have more attacks left in you, but you can see Issen has, in terms of their attack and their stance, they have a lot of poise to break through. As their attack carries through and slams down towards you, Nalfian, he did roll a natural 20 on the attack.
Oh, shit.
So you will take 27 points of bludgeoning damage from the mace attack.
Alright.
Alrighty.
Did you have the 27?
Oh, that's right. Thank you for reminding me. So you would take instead 13 points of damage.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, Nalfian, as you recoil, ready for the next attack with this weapon, now that you've grown closer to it, you can start to feel that power that was originally talked about. This blade that shifts and transforms, that bends to the need and will of the wielder. This blade that is the ultimate amplification of whatever powers and natural abilities somebody has. Something that is much too powerful to be wielded by any one person. You can feel it start to shift and grow within you. You feel the possibilities while wielding the sword are limitless. So I want you to think about what you want to do next. As you wield the sword, ready to make that next strike, you can see Issen is incredibly weak. But you can see that instead of another attack slamming down at you, you can see this demonic entity, these bolts of red and black lightning begin to curl around the creature. You can see static electricity begin to grow on not just you, Nalfian, but on all of your companions. In a 30-foot radius around all of you, Issen, you can see, begins to cultivate the static electricity as you can see these large storm clouds above all of you begin to grow and grow and grow and grow as they attempt to summon this lightning storm. Now, Nalfian, Issen looks very rough. You have one more chance before this lightning storm comes down on all of your companions. What do you want to do?
I mean, if this sword is like bending and contorting to Nalfian's will, I feel like the moment he raises the blade and as if to go to swing, I mean, he would want to channel whatever fucking lightning's about to come and strike us into the blade to use that as if the lightning is striking through Issen, and he's gonna swing it one final time.
Okay. So Nalfian, as you feel the energy culminating, as the thunder and lightning cracks, and all of you look up, you can see these bolts of energy slam down towards you like a conduit. They all collide at the blade. Nalfian, as you swing it through, Issen was at 11 hit points. Each one of your companions would have taken 68 lightning damage on a failed save. There are a lot of people in this area. There's no need to roll damage as you swing the blade.
Do I need to roll to hit?
Yes, I will need you to roll to hit.
I mean, I just have really bad rolls, so that's why I asked, so I can save my disappointment. All right, hold on.
So it's a d20 plus your dex plus 3.
All right, here's the d20. All right, I feel better about that.
Okay, that. So, and then your dex is plus 5.
22.
Okay, you're counting.
Yeah.
Okay.
23.
23. All right, 23 definitely hits Issen. As you swing the blade, you can see the bolts of lightning cut into Issen and expunge the shadow from within. Issen's form shatters and cracks, once again being destroyed by another one of the heroes of Illica.
But not with Balefire, damn it.
Not with Balefire again, no!
Nalfian can't do that. But it looks cool.
It does.
It's as pretty as Balefire, but it's not the same.
As the sword cuts through, Issen's form is dispelled. As all of you lock hands, Cassius does come with you. But you do see, now with nothing stopping him from moving in, Mezen moves in.
No.
All of you grip hands.
Oh shit, never mind. Continue.
And as you had just taken that final moment, the rest of your companions are too sick or too tired, focusing on other spells, attempting to dispel other creatures. Emeril, Cass, plane shift. And all of you fold. You all disconnect from this time and place that you exist in. That edge, that area where you are disconnected from, vanishes. All of you propelled through space and time once more. You feel something similar happen. Days, months, years go by. Eventually, you stop. What you see around you, there is solid stone on your feet. Arcane runes and sigils glow a deep blue. Candelabras hang from a ceiling. A large pane of glass, decorative, glows in ethereal blues, greens, and purples. All of you arrive in a sanctum, well, that some of you have been before. As you arrive in Emeril's sanctum. However, As you look back to your friends and allies, you see that Danny and Trouble are still unconscious. Their chest rises and falls. Shallow breaths. Zevran is sick and still bleeding. The members of the Hidden Flame, they attempt to now wake Danny in Trouble, having the magic they have with them. Belle is scarred and wounded and scared, but safe. Blossom, however, does not move.
Can Lila run to her and pull out her diamond, assuming she's not with us anymore?
As you move over to her, you can see that wound, where the blade struck right in her stomach, pulsates with poison as Blossom is dead.
Yeah, I would like to cast Revivify, please.
Okay.
I will say as Lila is approaching, because Twig was totally holding Blossom's hand.
Yeah.
I think as she looks over and has that realization, she is just going to kind of collapse into Blossom a little bit, see Lila coming over, and she's gonna look up at Lila, absolutely bawling.
Okay,
Can you
dear, it's
fix
okay.
it?
Give me 1 second, okay?
You can
And she's
fix
going
it,
to-
right?
1 second. And she's going to pull out the diamond and begin to cast Revivify, placing it over her heart and using the pendant, grab onto that fatal wound and start to put some divine energy in there.
Now, Lila, I will require you to roll here.
Yeah.
Blossom expired traversing through the planes of magic. Her soul is lost. And even with Revivify, this thing that's supposed to be a jump start, her soul is so far away from where it should be right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll need you to make a spellcasting modifier roll. So that is your wisdom plus your proficiency plus a d20.
Wisdom. Okay. So you just want me to roll a d20?
Yeah, d20 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is plus whatever your proficiency bonus is.
Okay. Wisdom modifier is +5. Okay, so that'd be whatever this roll is +8.
Okay.
That's a 12. I'm not going to roll a 12.
Okay. With the 16, you see the diamond crack, turn to dust, and you see it fall over the wound and over her face, and it begins to dissolve into her skin. There is this swirl of blue and green energy that reverberates all through her form. The astral energy dissolves into her skin. But she doesn't move. You see the magic initially seems to have no effect. All of you look as Twig is crying. Lila, you continue to try and channel the magic. And York, you had your hand up?
I have a point of inspiration. I will use it so Felicity can reroll.
Okay. Go ahead and reroll.
Twig is also not letting go of that hand. So FYI.
Okay. So what's 12 plus 8? Yeah, that is better.
20.
Dirty 20.
Oh my god.
Lila, you feel this need, this pressure, this push. You're not sure if it's now being back in whatever realm you are closer to Corellian, or this need to make sure that your friends, all of them, got out of there safely. There is this last little bit of magic that leaves you. And as this trail of astral magic leaves and dissolves into her, you see Blossom gasp. Oh God.
Hi. Don't move. Just don't move.
Oh God.
And she's going to like take her head and like kiss her on the head, and then take Twig and kiss her on the head and like just cry.
I was dead, wasn't I?
You're alive now. That's what matters.
And she'll look up to you, Twig, and see you bawling, and she'll immediately sort of grab you and hug you.
Yeah. Cry more.
So, eventually, the Hidden Flame, they use the little bits of magic they have. Danny and Trouble also return to consciousness, and any of the rest of you are healed up as much as you need.
Joe, how is
Yeah.
Cassius looking? Like, Yuri's not letting go of his hand after having done the plane shot. She's
Yeah.
looking at him like, is he okay?
Cassius seems... He is injured. A few of the blasts back and forth between him and Mezan Kelnos, they did affect him. They did hit him. But the physical wounds are not nearly as prevalent as... He looks broken right now. Lost.
Yuri would make sure she does heal him, like, quickly when they get there. Like, once Blossom's alive, she'll make sure he's healed, just so he knows that he's safe as well.
Yeah. You heal him, and he just kind of nods and looks out in a very disassociative way. Is anybody else doing anything in particular?
Lila would then probably, after not Belle, I mean, definitely want to check in on Belle, but after Blossom is taken care of and Twigs, I know, with her, she would also go check in on Belle and then Zevran.
Yeah. You can see Belle and Zevran are currently next to each other. Imariel had kneeled down next to Zevran and begun to heal him, casting a few... Actually, there's no reason to save the spell slots. Imariel would cast Heal on Zevran. And you can see Zevran's vitality is restored pretty considerably, but still very much hurting. I mean, you don't go from almost full to 0 and be like, oh, hey, cool. So you can see Zevran gripping at the wounds. He still has scars of slash marks from the blade going across his chest. And there are even these sort of like black veins, like an infection, that are still present, even though he's healed from being cut with the Bansheen's blade, as he sort of grips them and says, Hi.
Hi.
I'm very sorry I got captured.
So did I. She's gonna take his hand and say, you were right. You did it.
Yeah. We did it.
And she'll nod, but then she's gonna scoop up Belle.
Yeah.
And just...
Belle, you can see, had been so disconnected for a moment. But as soon as you grab her, she just starts to cry.
Yeah.
All of the pent up and stuffed down emotions over the past week or two that you'd spent in the astral sea, it all just comes pouring out as she just holds you and sobs.
And Lila would be sobbing too, so maybe not as much, but yeah,
Yeah.
definitely crying.
Okay. You ready to see?
How's Nalfin looking right now?
Good question.
Not very good. I feel like the moment they arrived here, he still has like this death grip on that sword. And his eyes hasn't really moved from Blossom. And you can see there's like a couple tears coming out of his face, but he's like stone-faced. But he's just kind of staring towards Blossom.
She's gonna very slowly, after having healed Cassius, walk over towards him and put like a hand over where he's death gripping the sword and say, okay, maybe put this down now. We're safe. And she's okay.
He just kind of slowly like lets his arm fall, still holding it pretty tightly, but he lowers it. But he doesn't say anything.
Okay, she hugs him.
You can feel his like every muscle in his body is very tense right now, and with his free arm, he does a very like half-hearted hug.
Yeah.
And you can feel he kind of relaxes a little bit.
Okay.
It's okay. Everyone's alive and it's okay. And that's all she's doing.
Okay. So, with that, York, is there anything you're doing in particular?
Nope. He's just sitting there, and he's not looking at him, but with his watchful film, which gives him direction everywhere, he's just watching Finch.
Yeah, Finch at this point, after Eurydice lets go, in one of the chairs nearby, he just sits down and continues to stare at the table. Not looking at anything in particular, just lost. As you all sit there, recoiling from the past 2, maybe 3 weeks you've just experienced within the astral sea, you've returned. And because of the actions and choices you took, all of you came back alive. Even if that just means that you're alive on the other end. Emeril has been removed. You know that one of the Forsaken are here with you. Broken, seemingly lost, but they're here. Mezin Kelnos, though, you are not entirely sure. Did he have time to escape? Did the spell go off before? You don't know. Only time will tell. But as all of you sit there, breathing, having that moment, you're safe. At least for now. And on that note, that is where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session. Woo-wee! Bubba. Well, what I will say is congratulations. You have completed, you completed your mission. Emeril's back.
Yay.
You all went through so much trauma and awfulness, but everyone's alive. Next session will be the beginning of a new book, which is so fun. Which also means, welcome to level 12, guys.
Hey.
Woo! Level
Happy about
up.
it soon. Let me just cry first.
Yeah. I wanted to end the session on a little bit of happy, give you a little. I know that was a lot. Nice. Glad somebody's excited. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for Buried Time. Be sure to tune in on Tuesday for the continuation of the Adventures of the Salamander Coast. On Wednesday for the Tales of Everend, or next Saturday for the continuation of the Isles of Iverion. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.